5, 4, gather round, freaks. The grimoire is spinning and spitting and shaking and quaking. The pages are flipping fast as the book begins to close, and things are shaping up to be one of the best Grimoire of Familiar Killers yet. That's right, the shape is here, and we may have to put him and his whole book in a burning house. So gather around the internet campfire and click that notification bell and follow us on all platforms because it's time for another Halloween on Hey. Did you see this one?
The night is dark, and the air is still. The moon casts an eerie glow over the internet, where a group of curious individuals have gathered to discuss their shared fascination for the macabre. They hold in their hands a book with a foreboding presence, bound in flesh and inked in blood, a tome of horror that only opens its pages when a sacrifice is made. Within its ancient passages lie the secrets of the most infamous murderers and monsters of all time. Join us. But beware, for once this book is open, there's no telling what horrors may be unleashed. This is the Grimoire of Familiar Killers.
Hello and welcome to episode 220. What? I just started talking. Who could be at the door already? It's so early in the episode. Who could it be? Let's find out.
Hi, san. Hi, Steve. You are who I have also so and for her. Stop. Us. Hi, it's I for you. Hi, love you.
Brings the soup. Oh my god. Those people driving must have been so worried he was going to walk backwards into traffic.
Right?
That's amazing.
I'd be more worried that all those people driving in reverse are going to cause a...
We need to start paying Alex.
Oh man, he's like the third Beatle of our podcast. He's here every week in spirit. Thank you, Alex. That was another great one. Look out for that. I'm going to put it up on TikTok with Twin Peaks music probably tomorrow, and then we're almost at 25 of those from him, so I'm going to make a super cut of all of them, which will go on YouTube. But as I was saying, it's episode 224 of the pod. The Grimoire of Familiar Killers Spring edition is closing, and it is Halloween once again here on the show. We are talking about Halloween 2018, where we skip over all the movies, but it's still canonical to that line of Laurie Strode lineage. So we skipped over the Rob Zombie movies. We're going to do those as part of a homage to remakes month down the line. But we are, of course, going to continue on the Grimoire with Michael Myers and the Shape with Halloween 2018. That said, I would like to welcome back to the show for the 7th time. I thought you've been here much more frequently. And also, I got to point out that you have so many milestones. I think that's why I thought you were here more. You were here. You were our first guest, besides like Steve, but he never left the show. You were here for our 200th episode or a 5th anniversary, one of those. And also this episode, you were here for Halloween 2. So you're here for the second sequel to the first Halloween movie.
Yeah, the second direct sequel to the first one. They made 2 sequels, and I'm here for both of them. I'm very excited. It's just through happenstance because someone else was supposed to be on this week and they weren't.
Which is great. Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Which I'm so grateful for. Because I'm so glad to be able to compare literally like the 2 sequels they made to the first Halloween movie.
That's incredible. So welcome back to the show, Craig Webster. And I, of course, am Jason R. Phil Hollow Nips 2018.
Hollow Nips? You have hollow nips? Oh my god.
Hollow Nips.
You need
it
to
says wee nips.
Clear about that.
Yep. They're so small. They're really not. They're giant like a baboon. Also, I'd like to welcome my co-host and co-host with the most, who can boast so much. Stephen, Boba Blackfly Waters. Thank you for coming back 224 times-ish. Maybe
I've never missed an episode, except for those 15 episodes that I weren't in at the beginning.
Yeah, we should have given you your flowers for your specific 200th episode, but
we weren't keeping track back then.
No.
Yeah, I'll be back next week too, probably.
Yeah, it's true. Against your own will, sometimes it feels like. But thank you both for joining me, and thank me for joining you, I suppose. We're going to get right into it here. We're going to talk about Halloween 2018. The Grimoire is closing. But we have to appease the needs of the great Zardos first.
Zardos, do you want to hear about this one as well?
Zardos speaks to you.
Zardos
he demands you synopsize this film. Tell him how, why, who, what occurs in this film.
Wow, I pressed the wrong one. Or did I? Did I? I don't know. I wasn't paying attention.
No, that's right. Well, we do Freddy for... I'm going to have to make a separate one for Freddy in October. Craig, would you be okay with lending us your dulcet tones for giving us a brief synopsis of this film?
Yeah, absolutely. So we can luckily ignore like 9 movies in the interim. But 40 years later to the day, Michael Myers, escapes from his, again, for some reason, they're transferring him from one insane asylum to another. He escapes from the bus yet again. Meanwhile, Laurie Strode has become a shut-in recluse who's raised the daughter and tried to teach her to survive against serial killers, and that's caused stress in the relationship. But it turns out it was not for nothing, because Michael comes back and a whole showdown ensues with lots of death along the way.
Yeah,
that's what happens.
In Haddonfield, of course, Michael has come home, as the tagline is to several of the previous sequels.
Yeah. And it also plays as sort of a Lego sequel remake to the first one I found as well, because they do a lot of similar plot points and a lot of similar like tracking shots and stuff, which really blew me away.
There's I found it to be a great balance between like homage and originality. Like they get that balance just right. There's a ton of like references to even some of the sequels that that obviously are ignoring. Like the gas station is like a replica of the gas station in Halloween 4, for example. So I find that interesting that they're ignoring those movies, but still paying homage to them as well for the keen-eyed viewers.
Yeah, which we'll talk about that awesome scene coming up in just a bit. But before we get to that, let's talk about our brief histories with the film.
Our brief histories, you say? A brief history!
So This is unique in that normally I would ask the guests to give their brief history on Halloween, but you would have given us your history on Halloween, Craig, back in 2022 or
Oh, it's been
2023,
that
I
long?
believe.
It was 23.
Yeah. Yeah. So we can skip over that, but could you just give us your brief history? It's going to be brief because this movie came out like 8 years ago. Wow. Whoops. Shouldn't have said that. But can you give us your brief history with this film, please?
Well, 8 years ago, I didn't see it in theaters. Actually, I think I waited a year or two to see it. I was like, Danny McBride, I don't know, like Eastbound and Down's hilarious. Didn't strike me as like a serious filmmaker. So like, even though it got like all these like great reviews and accolades, I didn't see it for a little while. And then when I did see it, I didn't think it was that great. Watching it again for this episode yesterday, I was blown away. I don't know, I must have been half asleep or something the first time I watched it because I was picking stuff out. I was like, oh, that's cool. Oh, I love how they made that twist on the original plot, stuff like that. Loved it this time. Yeah, not much of a history beyond having loved all the Halloween movies up until this point.
All right, cool. How about you, Steve?
Mine's pretty similar. I didn't see it in theater. I think I had like a bad taste in my mouth from the Rob Zombie movies. I don't really like those that much. I don't hate them. I just I feel like they're a little bit more mean spirited than they needed to be. But we'll talk about those when we talk about those. This one, I think it just arrived on a streamer, and I was like, oh yeah, I'll watch this. And I had figured out like, oh, John Carpenter does the music, so that is a plus for me. Danny McBride as a writer for it, I was intrigued by because he does have like an interesting pedigree. If you look at like his history in just film in general, it's like, oh, he's like a classically trained actor who just happens to like being in funny stuff and like write funny stuff. So I was interested. It wasn't like a deterrent for me. And the first time I watched it, I remember thinking like, oh, I like that the characters are like, so the fuck what? A bunch of teenagers got stabbed like 40 fucking years ago. There's way worse stuff that happens literally every day. And it's like, yep, that's very true. If this happened for real, people would not be talking about it or give a shit.
40 years later.
Which is unfortunate of the reality that we live in, but that's the truth. But yeah, I don't remember either loving it or hating it the first time I watched it, but I do remember picking out stuff that I was impressed by or that I thought was smart, as well as the references to the original movies, which, you know, I'm not, it's like we've talked about it a million times before, the Halloween movies are not at the top of my list of the slashers that we have in the Grimoire of Familiar Killers months, but I don't dislike them either. It's just a thing that I'm kind of like lukewarm on, but there are a few in there that I really like. Like I'm like one of those guys that loves Halloween 3, which they have a reference to in this movie. There's a part where the parents are taking their kids for Halloween trick-or-treating, and the three kids are a pumpkin, a skeleton, and a witch face. And that's what those are the masks.
I knew about that part, but I missed it. I didn't catch it when I was
I was so excited. I was like, ooh, druids, druid magic. But yeah. So yeah, my history is I remember watching it, but I don't have like I think I was just lying in bed, similar to probably how you like maybe like a hangover day or something, or a sick day, and you're just like, I'm gonna watch Halloween 2008, written by Danny McBride with music composed by our favorite grandpa, our favorite video game playing grandpa, John.
And his kids, I think, when you look at the music composed by it's like John and Carol
Cody
or something. Cody.
Yeah. Who is I did a little bit of digging today because I'm like, Cody, he is like he scores a lot of stuff. He's primarily a musician or a composer, but he's worked on a lot of his dad's weird side albums, as well as, you know, any project that he was involved with, he would get his son to do it, but also sort of like work on it with his kid. His name's also John Cody Carpenter Jr. Yeah, also kind of hot. Also same age as you, Jason, I think.
Yeah, that tracks. My dad's probably about John Carpenter's age.
Yeah. Anywho, yeah, very interesting stuff. But yeah, don't have a solid hard history with this movie, but I like it. I like it.
For me, it was more. Yeah, like no, it's fine. Like I just jammed all the original like lineup of Halloween movies into my brain over the last few years, and going into this one, I really didn't know what to expect, and I was almost expecting it to like not be very good because these movies, all three of them, just kind of came and went, and I didn't really hear people talking about them. But sitting down and putting it, like watching it, I really like having all that knowledge of Halloween and like, was really helpful because it really amplifies how good this movie is. And then as soon as the movie was done, I went and started looking up stuff for it, and I was like, Danny McBride. Oh man, it makes sense that guy could put together a good horror, because it's kind of like how other comedians are great at writing horror, like Jordan Peele and Zach Cregers for Barbarian and the other one that just won a fucking Oscar. I have this theory that comedians can write such good horror because they already have to do the job of subverting your expectations in a really unique way. So horror is all about it's all about jump scares, which it requires subversion of expectations. And while none of their work really relies on jump scares, it does rely on you having to think one way and then be shown something else. And I think they're really good.
If I may, I think I can sum it up by saying both horror and comedy rely on surprising you out of nowhere.
Yes, absolutely. And then even in this movie, I hope that all three of these movies have a moment like the Banh Mi sandwich moment, where it's just a funny little like sketch, because the insanity of what's happening around them, and they're just having this like pretty mundane conversation that's humorous.
Banh Mi actually refers to the bread, not the contents.
So they made you a peanut butter and jelly Banh Mi, and then he pulls out a fucking. Anyway, Brownie. We'll get to that one. Yeah, we'll get to that when we talk about it. But I had downloaded Rob Zombie's both of his movies. I have them on my computer, and I was like, you know what? I'm such a glutton for completionism that I'm gonna watch those two this week, and then watch this one. And then I started the movie on Tuesday, just watched the first like bit, and I was like, no, that is not the play, because when we come to talk about it, I'm gonna have I'm gonna have three movies mixed together. So I'll take care of those two movies when I get to them. And I have
they have nothing to do with the other one. It's not even like where it's like tangentially touching it. It's just it has nothing to do with any of the other Halloween movies. So it's like stay away unless you're gonna be taking care of them together and separately. Probably best to get through these ones first.
And then I also have Steve's voice in the back of my head. He's been saying this to me for now 5 years, basically, that like those two movies are just too brutal and they're not fun. So I also didn't want to sit there and be like actually horrified.
Well, they also make the mistake of trying to explain why Michael Myers is the way that he is, which the whole point of
45 minutes tacked on to like a normal runtime for a movie, and they're like, let's make it 45 minutes longer with an origin story that no one has to.
But like the whole thing about Michael Myers is that he's supposed to be the embodiment of evil from like the dark realm of nothingness that we cannot explain, and it's like, let's explain it. It's like, what are you, fucking stupid? What are you doing, Robert Zombie?
I never thought of it as like a Lovecraftian sort of like.
That's how it feels.
Thing. Like it's not supposed to have an explanation.
Especially those couple.
And they drive that home in this movie.
Yeah.
Yes. And the next two movies as well, where they really double down on the evil has come tonight. Evil dies.
With Dr. Sartain, I'm sure we're gonna have plenty of things to say about that character. But that's pretty much it for me. That was my history with this film. Should we get into some production talk? I know there's not too much, but there's things to mention.
Yeah, it blew my production talk already with the whole Cody Carpenter shit. Whoopsie doodle.
All right. Quiet on set. Are we rolling? Okay, let's shoot this piece of shit.
Sound. Speed.
Action!
So basically directed by David Gordon Green, who is
Glorby Dorby
known for, aside from this, I'm just pulling up IMDb.
He's got a bunch of movies. He did all three of these. He did Pineapple Express, Your Highness. He's been working with and Danny McBride for a while, but he also did Goat and a bunch of other things he did Exorcist the Believer. Interesting. I haven't seen that, but it is interesting that he did it. Probably off of the back of these movies. But yeah, I haven't seen a ton of his work, but I have seen most of his hard comedies. But even like his comedies are like Pineapple Express it does have sort of like an interesting action plot that is saddled up next to stoner comedy. And same with Your Highness, where it's like a hard high fantasy with actual fantasy elements that are done pretty well that are steeped in stoner comedy. I don't really like either of those movies that much, but I think they're pretty inoffensive. I mean, revisiting, there's probably some.
Now, yeah.
I just gotta mention Pineapple Express, that opening scene where it's like 1940s like science experiment, and they've got like Bill Hader as like the military guy testing out weed.
They're like,
that's Bill.
What
Hader
do you feel like? And he's like, I feel like butter sliding
like
out a big stack of flapjacks.
I saw Your Highness in theater. I saw Your Highness in theaters, and I enjoyed it at the time, but just in that very small window of time, and I don't think I ever went back and watched it again.
I picture Jason and one of his friends in a car outside the movie theater, like cheersing rolled up funny looking cigarettes and going, Your Highness, like clinking them before they go into the theater.
Not too far off. I saw that with a giant group of friends, so oh my god. Thank you for the super chat, Travis Mitchell. I feel like just get a subscription to the channel and you don't have to pay us money. But Evil Dies in 219 tonights.
219 nights from now. Thanks, buddy. We love you. Thanks for stopping
What does
by.
that mean? Can someone fill me in on what's 219?
I assume that's how many days are left until Halloween.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
I didn't do the math. I just assumed.
No, I thought it seemed like you guys were like in on something that Travis might have as like a running.
Right.
I was like, that's the wrong episode number, man. Are you been a fan?
No.
But
I was going to make a joke about what
Travis. Thank you.
Yeah, I was going to make a joke about what that movie theater probably smelled like when you went in, when everybody else came in. If you went with a giant group of friends, yeah,
more like 420 nights from now.
Anyway, yeah, I'm not too familiar with most of his work, but I have seen those two movies, that's for sure, and I've seen them multiple times each. I kind of want to watch Your Highness again because I really love fantasy movies, and I would like to see. I remember there's like a weird perverted puppet in it. It's like looks cool, but also then starts talking about how he gave them like special back rubs and stuff, and you're like, oh god, this is disgusting. Yeah. But he also worked on a lot of television as well. He did Vice Principals and Eastbound and Down, which and the Righteous Gemstones. Yeah, so him and Danny McBride are
they're BFFs.
Yeah, they're attached at the hip, it seems.
And not just a couple episodes of those
clearly,
shows, like,
and clearly very versatile, very clearly very versatile as well, because he's not just doing one or the other, right? It's like he's kind of all over the place with what he does. So talented person.
Another thing that I was concerned about when I turned the movie on is this is a Blumhouse film, which are like notoriously low budget. But it looks great, and at a $10 million budget, and made $255 million back. Sequel, definitely, because we know that to be true. But you see that Blumhouse logo come out, and sometimes it's like hit or miss, But
that's all studios. I mean, I feel like people give Blumhouse a bad shake because they have plenty of good stuff as well. It's just that they have so much stuff that your brain automatically goes to bad. Especially when it's associated with an individual who has made both good and bad movies himself. But I mean, like, people are like, A24 is the fucking stamp of quality, but it's also like A24 has made shit films as well, guys. Like all studios push out stinkers every once in a while, but all studios also, if they exist still, push out good stuff. We all know New Line Cinema almost fucking died until Freddy Krueger showed up late in the game to save them, right? So I think one of the great things about Blumhouse is that they only really make low budget movies. It's notorious for making low budget movies, but it's also one of the only studios of its caliber to continuously make low budget movies. No other studios do that anymore. They're only making $200 to $500 million budget stuff because they want to make $1 billion back, or else it's considered a failure. But then something like Blumhouse is making movies $10 million and raking in $250 million. At the end of the day, it's like if you make enough of those a year, you're going to be making more than the Marvel movie made. You're going to be making more than the Avatar movie made, right? So I think it's smart, and I think that those types of studios I wish there were more of. And A24 is also one of them, right? Like they make a lot of low budget stuff, but they also make a lot of quality stuff too as well. So yeah, it's nice that it still exists, because we live in an era now where it's seemingly the only stuff that anybody cares about or talks about on the internet is a Spider-Man or a Superman.
It drives me nuts, this stuff, because it's all money. I mean, obviously capitalism is money, but like when you see things like the what movie, like the Wile E. Coyote movie, which is eventually coming out, but like that got shelved because it was more profitable to not release it somehow. And like that, like
because they can write it off as like a loss or something. It's all about tax, like saving the kind of company from paying taxes or something. Which that's what happens when you're only making enormous budget overly inflated budget movies, right? Isn't that what like the entirety of like the producers is about?
I haven't seen it. I was thinking about
we'll make more money if we release a stinker.
They make a stinker on purpose so they can, because they know it'll do well. I shout out to Neon Films as well, which is a similar thing, but they win a lot of awards with their stuff, so they're kind of like the big brother to A24 and Blumhouse. But it's a similar thing. Smaller houses making lower budget movies and just putting a quality over quantity.
I guess my point there was don't ever be turned off by the production company. Unless
I was wrong.
Fully aware that the movie's going to suck beforehand. Just give it a chance, everybody. Don't turn your back on something just because it's made by a specific studio, because you never know. I watch every single one of those weird fucking Winnie the Pooh murder movies, just in case one of them turns out being great.
Because you're a pervert for public domain.
Listen, he can control bees in those movies. That's cool. I like that he can control bees with his mind.
There's like 4 Popeye movies in that weird universe, and they're able to churn those out so fast.
Is that part of that universe? I don't even know, because I know they're planning on making a cinematic universe out of them, which I think is hilarious. But
there's like a Peter Pan one too now.
Yeah, I'm excited for the Infinity Gauntlet version of whatever that's going to be.
Pooh, Crud, and Heine.
Yeah, it is Crud and Heine. They are bad. Yeah, both of them are bad, and they're like the costumes are absolutely fucking terrible. Like it looks. At first, you're like, oh, it's creepy when they're showing it sort of half in the lighting in the background and stuff. It's like, oh, they look very scary. And then you see them and it's like, oh, they look like they're wearing rubber masks. Oh, this kind of sucks. But then they show a close up and you're like, oh, it's because they're mutants and it's their skin. They don't have fur and stuff. But then your mind goes into like what it could be. And anyway, give them a chance, but also maybe don't. I'll leave it up to you. I'm not trying to convince you of anything.
That's what the production house that's making like Steven Kostansky, who makes like Psycho Gorman and the new Deathstalker. Like those. Well,
those are quality.
Those are
sorry. Did you say new Deathstalker?
Yeah, there's a new Deathstalker that came out last year.
I'm saying we should do it on the show at some point, Craig. If you would want to come back for it, I'm down.
I just watched all 4 of them in like a week, and I hate
watched the remake yet?
I haven't seen the remake yet. It was all because of this.
It's pretty weird. I mean, it's not good, but it's fun. Like I had fun, and I got way too excited when the Deathstalker theme started playing at the beginning of the movie. Like it does like a sort of a camera crane up to like a kingdom, and like and I started like I wanted to get up and start jumping around. I was like, this is sick. This is amazing. Deathstalker, love them. Okay,
speaking of production. We haven't talked. We leave production talk. So I don't often get to watch movies with like my Dolby Atmos like sound bar and everything turned up. The family was out last night while I was watching this movie, so I cranked that shit through my sound system. The audio mix in this movie is goddamn fantastic.
It's fucking dope. Yeah.
So good.
The music and just the sting, that sort of like that's like weird guitar sting that happens when he shows up and stuff. I'm like, this is maybe the best soundtrack to any Halloween movie that I've ever heard. And obviously it's
took all the original motifs, but like ran it through modern instruments and synths and like
and also did some new stuff with existing tunes. Because I mean, obviously the Halloween theme is one of the most recognizable not even just I was gonna say horror themes, but just themes in general. Like even if you've never seen Halloween, you just associate it with either the movie or the holiday.
And we don't hear it. We don't hear it until so far into the movie.
You guys both talk at the same time, and it makes my brain rip in half.
So I was just going to say my niece has been learning piano, and since she was like 7, she's been playing the Halloween theme on piano. I don't think she's seen the movie, I hope. That's how ubiquitous
she loves it.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. Anyway,
Shout out Sophia. She doesn't watch the podcast, but she does. Shout out to my niece Sophia.
By the time we're like super famous, she'll be watching it all, right? Everybody will be. So hit that notification bell and like and follow us on all social media. This movie uses a lot of practical effects that should be mentioned, because in a world of I watched Primate. Okay. I was excited for this thing. I thought it was going to be a demon monkey. It's not that. I won't spoil the conceit, but the kills in that movie of him ripping people's faces off are so obviously CGI, and you don't need to do that. In this movie, however, everything looks so good. Obviously, getting stabbed through the back of your head.
There's a couple of CG moments, but and you can tell
the headland jack-o'-lantern. Oh my god, I've lost my mind for that.
The head jack-o'-lantern. What happened?
Oh, like the opening credits.
No, when the two cops get killed and then they look into the police car, one of the heads
the
jack-o'-lantern
shoved in the bottom of his jaw.
Oh yeah. Right.
I had eyes are all lit up.
Right. I had looked away at that point, and I was watching with Danny, and Danny went, "Oh my god!" And I looked back, and I was like, "What? What did I miss?" And then Danny was like, "His head was a pumpkin," and I was like, "What does that even mean?" And I just didn't bother to go back. Yeah. Oh, what is he writing at the epic soundtrack, especially the closing track, "The Shape Burns"? Yeah, as they leave the house. So I have a D&D campaign that's been running for about 10 years, and we have a character in it named the Tourist. And he is a serial killer that they have killed multiple times, and he keeps coming back, and they're like, "It's the Tourist, he's back." And his theme is all of the soundtracks of all of the Halloween movies, and I've just kind of picked sort of the random ones that aren't super like, this is the Halloween music. It's just sort of like, you can kind of tell it's Halloween. So I'm so familiar with all the Halloween music because of D&D and having one character associated with the soundtracks of all of these movies that I've listened to them all like hundreds of times, like writing content for this serial killer character.
It's like video game music, but it's the shape.
Yeah, I mean, that's one thing that I do in my D&D campaign is when I create a memorable character or something that the characters latch onto, I'll start to attach soundtrack music to that character specifically so that I can play a track and then all of them will perk up being like, "Oh my god, the music has changed to the music of K9 Kelvin, the Mr. Freeze werewolf character that you threw in last year." It's a great, for DMs out there who like using music, it's a great tool to freak people out without even actually saying anything and just changing the music. You can milk a lot of hours or tears out of your players.
This is like 9 facts in one. One of them is a real cop. The other, the brownie, was the makeup effects artist for the film, Christopher Nelson, who is also Beatrix's fiance in Kill Bill.
Oh, interesting.
How do you know all this stuff, bro?
I don't have a ton of other information here, like about any of this, other than like the music that we already talked about, which is really cool.
I would just say that the cinematography for this film has a really, really great look and feel to it, and it really evokes the original movie in this really interesting way I wasn't expecting. And I notoriously don't like the first Halloween. I think that this goes back so many years now, and I think that I wasn't evolved as a film reviewer enough to really be into it. And I think if I went back and watched Halloween 1 now, after almost 1,000 movies reviewed, I think
I was curious what your thoughts were, because you're saying the cinematography is great, but there are some camera moves that they do in this movie that are completely in place to evoke another era, like an older era.
Yeah.
The one that I think of immediately is when it's sort of that crane, that I don't know if it's a crane shot or if it's just a camera placement, but they're zooming in on Michael Myers in the insane asylum yard that looks like a checkerboard or whatever, and they do that sort of slow zoom that's in a lot of horror movies from like the 70s, and it's not like a camera push where it's really smooth feeling and cinematic feeling. It's got that old quality to it where it's like you're aware that you're watching something through like a telescope essentially, right? And they do it in tons and tons of old movies, but for me, when I see something like that in a movie, immediately I'm like transported to another era of filmmaking. I'm like, oh, this feels like a 70s movie, and I fucking love it. I love this shit. Yeah. It's automatically scarier.
It felt a little bit like whether or not the movie was actually like that, in my memory, when they go to that asylum, it reminded me of Assault on Precinct 13 a little bit when they go into the courtyard in this movie. And also just showing an asylum that's a prison just reminds me of other Halloween movies where they do that. But the biggest shot was that tracking shot where Jason or the Shape is just walking around the old neighborhood, and he walks up the front stairs and he looks through the window and sees the woman inside, and then he walks around the side of the house and you just see his shadow get bigger as he walks down that alleyway. Fucking, I was like, this is what I thought I was going to be watching when I watched the original Halloween, but that's like the first horror movie, so they hadn't really thought of any of this yet. When you have 40 years of that evolution, that's why you get such cool moments that you get in this one.
That scene also, so from when there's a cut, like he walks down that alley, but then he picks up the hammer and then there's a cut. And after that cut, it's a one shot as he goes into that house, kills the one with the hammer, follows him through the kitchen, out through like the yard to the next house to kill the next woman. That's one shot, which is, I mean, obviously a homage to the first kill.
And that's like, it's always like fun when they accomplish something like that really seamlessly. And obviously the shot from the first movie with the mask on the camera, it's like, this is sort of an homage to that, but also like, let's try and do this in an even more impressive way, which it obviously is. But you know, like I made a short film when I was like 22 with my friend Spencer, and we were obsessed with trying to do one of these, and it's so fucking hard to do it and to do it well. And ours was maybe about half the length of this, where it's like these two guys enter a house, one of them goes one way, the other one goes the other way, and we wanted to do a thing where the camera follows one of them and then eventually follows the other one, and then one of them gets blown away by a shotgun and flies through the air. So we had a guy in the living room where when the other guy goes around a corner, you see the muzzle flare and then he flies backwards, and then you see all these feathers come out, and when he goes around, like we do a pan over to the guy lying in the couch with like a big sort, he like rips his jacket open when he goes around the corner, so that when he flies back he's got this big shotgun wound in his chest, and all the feathers are falling down like sort of like slow falling rain. And then we follow the last guy into the basement, and then he gets shot down there. And it's like we had to do it like 70 times. Like it was fucking wild, like just picking up all of the feathers and stuffing them back into the pillow and just doing it over and over again. It's so taxing, but like when you see it,
you nail it. Yeah.
When you nail it, you're just like, you almost get so excited when you're, you know, I think we had a camera operator with us named Cam, and he was like, you could tell that even he was getting excited because he's like, everything's working. And then like the final take we did, we like all went silent for a moment, and then we all just like hugged each other and we're like, we did it. It's gonna look amazing.
I feel it's like that scene in The Office, that cold open when they do the singing and the dancing. That one song that must have taken
probably took that. Yeah.
Now this one shot in this movie, I don't think was as impressive as the one shot from the first movie, because the first one, when it's like whatever 10-year-old Michael Myers going up the stairs to kill his sister, it's one shot, but he goes up the stairs, kills his sister, and it follows him back down the stairs. They have to reset all that lighting, and the time that he's in his sister's bedroom, the fucking crew is tearing lights down and resetting them up because the camera's coming right back down in like 30 seconds, which that's crazy. So on top of like getting all the coordination right, like it's not just actors and the camera getting it right, all the lighting people have to relight it so that it looks proper the way down the stairs.
Definitely. Yeah, oneers are always really fun because like some people don't even notice them, right? That's the other thing, is like and sometimes even I don't realize it. I'm like, wait a minute, has this all been one shot? And then you like have to go back and like, yeah, I don't think I
had to
saw
rewind.
it.
I rewind last night.
But I noticed it when he kills. I started to realize it when he kills the woman with the hammer, and then it comes around the corner and you see her dead on the table. I'm like, oh, this is going to be. I don't even realize when the cut didn't happen, but now I'm like, oh, now I have to watch where does it cut, and it doesn't, and it's really good. That lady who hates Halloween, when she's like, fucking kids, I fucking hate kids or whatever, she comes to close her blinds. I don't know if I don't know what she's saying, but I assume she hates Halloween.
The second
Michael Myers kills her.
That got killed there?
The one who gets the knife through the back of the head.
She was worried about, I think she was on the phone, right? And she was, I think, worried that her kids were missing or something. Like, I didn't know what the hell was going on there. I was going to ask you guys about that. Like,
I assumed that
freaking out about.
I thought that she was just like, they're not back yet or whatever. Like, she just like worried because it's how like all these kids are on the street and she's closing her blinds or whatever.
I got the impression we were supposed to know who's missing or who she's worried about. But
I just thought that I thought it was like a joke where she was like hates Halloween and then she gets stabbed in the head by the king of Halloween, Michael Myers.
probably more likely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, should we go into the body of the episode?
Everybody back up, because here comes the body of the episode.
Have you, Craig, seen these new interstitials yet? Were they in?
No,
I think
I'm loving
this
it though. No, I have not seen them.
Did you notice the production talk one was
Jason's so proud of this.
a casting guy?
What am I supposed to have seen? I missed it, I guess.
Jason's filthy joke.
Yeah.
Also, the backwards talking man at the beginning of the episode is the one who made all those for us because
because he's our I could call them director of interstitials in the credits.
This is all, none of this is done digitally. Like, he has that weird TV and he has like a weird, like, all the stuff that he's got going on, it's all practical magic. Where I'm like, where do you find all this? He's like, I work at a pawn shop. Like, I find this stuff randomly. Yeah,
he set up an RF not RF but like a analog signal to that TV from his computer and displayed that on the TV from his computer. That's why it's got that look to it. That's all real. It's
but he figured out that if he touches one of the antenna that come out of it, or like in a certain way, it would make it like have that weird sort of scrambly effect. So he's like, all that is him touching and doing it like
that's amazing.
The way they would do it in the old days.
It's the
Alex Gow is very cool, everyone. He's a cool guy.
He's he'll be back soon. He'll be back next month for Advent Children. And so will Craig for Aqua Teen Hunger Force. Anyway, this movie skips the first two movies, sorry, let me start that over. So this skips two of the movies that are Rob Zombie, but is a direct sequel to the first movie. And the credits sequence opening is really cool. It feels like the old movies, but it's like a rotting pumpkin that kind of like reinflates.
Which they actually filmed rotting over weeks and then flipped it and sped it up in reverse.
Yeah, it's so fucking cool because you can tell as well, right? Like, I guarantee you, if they wanted to try and make a digital effect like that looked as realistic as it does, it probably would have cost them so much money. But they're like, no, we'll just film a pumpkin for 2 weeks.
Leave the camera in the closet for 2 weeks. We'll get the tape when it's done.
And you can even see like bugs and stuff in there every once in a while. It's like they let that thing rot for real.
Oh, Travis is nailing it. Travis knows what was up with that woman. I got the impression that that was the wife of the hunter we saw at the beginning with their son who got killed by Michael at that time.
Oh, interesting.
That's gotta be it. Because I had that feeling. I was like, we're supposed to know what she's freaked out about.
Well, he also said that I kind of skipped over this because this is a kind of a spoiler for me. I'm sure Travis will be back in the fall to remind me. But the choice to have two extras in this movie come back as major characters in the next one was genius and rewarded for paying attention. I don't understand that yet. You guys might get it, but we'll get there when we get there, I suppose. But the opening of this movie is the asylum/prison, and we're introduced to two reporters. Their names are
podcasters.
They're podcasters, yeah.
They're podcasters.
They're investigative journlists.
Aaron and Dana. And they arrive at Smith's Grove Sanitarium.
They are our Irving the explainers. They're there to basically give us the lore dump on the last 40 years / what happened in the first movie / anybody who didn't see the original Halloween who's on a date seeing this Halloween. They're there just to let us know what happened in the first movie, basically.
Well, if I may, they are that, but they are also the pawns that kick off the chess game on that chessboard. That is the whole movie that leads up to that end game. At the end.
Look at this guy over here. What did you go to fucking art school, you fucking pervert?
He just slap you in the face with that chessboard.
It's true.
Not
Yeah.
subtle about it. But it looks super cool.
Have you guys seen Scream 7 yet?
Nah, no. I haven't seen Scream 5 or 6 either.
Then never mind. So they're there to interview Michael, and they they get to meet the best impression of Dr. Loomis I think I've ever seen put to film in Dr. Sertrine.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the recording of his voice because
Of
it is
his-
pretty
yeah.
good.
Recording was
No, I'm
cool.
stupid.
That recording, actually, he was talking a lot about dreams, which I found interesting because it almost seemed like a Nightmare on Elm Street kind of reference. He was just talking about, like, you think you dream all night, but it's really only 45 minutes, and it's any dreams that you remember are really just in the 10 minutes before you wake up. Just talking about dreams. I'm like, this seems irrelevant to a Halloween movie, but very much like
I mean, a lot of it is like the guy's crazy, right? Like he's insane, but he's obsessed with trying to get him to speak because he wants him to explain to him what is going through his head. But there's nothing going through Michael Myers' head except for like finish the quest.
Kill.
You know?
And this movie is interesting because it's literally like after Michael Myers takes the fucking coat hanger to the eye, he gets taken away and goes to prison for 40 years. And that's the reality. And that's like what you guys were going back to saying when we get to Haddonfield. They're like, whatever, fuck that serial killer who existed 40 years ago. But also in the other movies, they're like, oh, whatever, fuck that serial killer that tormented our town last year.
Last week, yeah. Like last night.
Yeah. I meant more so like the comparison to like a bunch of teenagers getting stabbed, because not a lot of people die in the first Halloween movie, right? Compared to like
they made that reference.
Compared to like the amount of high school kids that get murdered every day in the United States via like terrible gun laws or whatever. And it's like, yeah, that wouldn't be the most sort of like prevalent fear in your life would be a man in a William Shatner mask coming for you in the night. You'd be more scared of going to school like every day. Yeah, but yeah, I think the intro is really effective, like in every way. And I think that whoever was playing Dr. Loomis on the radio, because like in a lot of these movies, they'll just take old archive footage or
that's what I thought
stuff or whatever. But no, it's clearly somebody doing an impression of what's his name? The guy?
Donald Pleasance.
Donald Pleasance, yeah. The man who
the pleasant Donald Pleasance.
The pleasant Donald Pleasance, who was definitely not drunk during the first 4 movies, clearly. I know it's like been beaten into the ground at this point, but like you can see the wine stains on his teeth at some point. So he's been guzzling red wine in the trailer between takes. God rest his soul. He was so great. And he liked the Halloween movies. Every time you see him in an interview talking about Halloween, he's like, I truly believe this is the greatest Halloween movie we've ever made, and it reminds me a lot of Shakespeare.
Stuck with them, he was Shakespearean, but he's stuck with the Halloween movies right through to I think 6.
I mean, I don't know if he was just bullshitting in those interviews, but he always like talked about how like the deeper understanding of like Michael Myers as a character and what this actually is and how it like reverberates in terms of like his love of Greek mythology and Shakespeare and shit. It's like it's a beautiful, simple tale, and I just love being a part of it.
Well, I have a question for you guys who are more like the horror buff guys. Is he referred to as the Shape in the old movies?
Oh, this was a point. This was a note I had. No,
he is credited as
in
the
Shape. Credit. Yeah.
Okay,
credited
but in
as the
this
Shape in the
this sequence, the podcasters refer to him as the Shape, right? And I was like, did the consciousness of people referring to him as the Shape now on like the internet come from this movie, or were people like referring to him as that because they were like, oh, it's kind of an Easter egg in the credits that he's referred to as the Shape?
They just always called him the Shape. I don't think
I didn't catch the podcasters mentioning it, but later when Laurie shows up at the dinner table, she's like, I saw the Shape. And I was
but I feel like she was like, I just know it was him because I saw the shape of him is what that's what I tracked it as. I didn't hear them refer to him as the Shape either, but
I thought they did.
Oh, that's quite possible.
They might have. I just don't remember them doing it, but I feel like maybe I don't know, but no, they have always credited him as the Shape, and that's how they've always referred. Like because when they were writing it, they're like, his name is Michael Myers, but like we need to come up with a spooky name for him or whatever, so let's call him the Shape.
I have a question for you guys in that case. What would you call Jason Voorhees as his name?
Oh.
Also the shape,
The body.
the body,
The wild
I was gonna say
card, baby.
I'll call
the
him
goalie,
the
the
drip.
drip.
Yeah, he's dripping. He's all wet all the time.
Based on what you said earlier when we were talking, I think yesterday morning we were talking about the Friday the 13th prequel series, and you called them you don't care unless there's a maniac goalie or something, and I'm like, it's the goalie then.
Yeah, because there's talk of them making the TV series that is like a prequel to the Jason, all the Crystal Lake stuff.
Do you guys remember the Freddy and Jason TV series from like the 80s? You might be too young for that. They had Freddy's Nightmares series. And they had a Friday the 13th series. And
I'm familiar with
neither of them.
Yeah, they were like anthology horror shows, but I don't think I've watched either of them. I may have caught an episode here and there and just didn't realize that I was watching that. Great. Yeah, that's what I've heard. That's why I haven't gone digging, like I gotta go watch that shit.
Yeah, I did dig. I downloaded them, but they were like clearly like someone taped them off TV in 1990.
Yeah,
and it's unwatchable. They're horrible.
Yeah, it's like Twilight Zone, but not good.
Yeah.
I mean, no one cared enough to.
Reverting that back to like to this, like John Carpenter he's made a handful of television horror anthologies himself, one of which he hosted as like a weird medical examiner or whatever, like I'm the body man. Like a bunch of weird makeup on. I forget what it's called. We were gonna do it on the show, but we decided not to because there is one that was condensed into a movie length.
Yeah, it's technically the only John Carpenter movie we haven't done.
Well, that's because it's not directed by him. He hosted it and he directed one of the parts. It would be like if we did Quentin Tarantino and did 4 Rooms, where it's like one of the 4 Rooms was directed by Quentin Tarantino, but like, is it a Tarantino movie? I wouldn't consider it so.
Friday the 13th show starred John LeMay, Stephen Freeman from Jason Goes to Hell. Interesting. We didn't talk about that a couple weeks ago when we did Jason Goes to Hell, or maybe we did.
I don't think we did because we didn't know.
Honestly, the TV show is insignificant. Like,
yeah,
don't need to bother.
So, getting back to the story here a little bit, we're introduced to Dr. Sartain, who is a student of Dr. Loomis, and
I wonder if he was actually a student or if he just tells everyone that, because he seems like he's insane, right?
He talks a lot like him.
At
first I thought it was like a production choice, or like we have to replace Loomis. He's the new Loomis. Let's make him sound as much like Loomis as possible. But now that you mention it, maybe he's like the character is emulating Loomis because he's the only doctor that got close to Michael, and he wants to get that close too. So
he's trying to be like him. He does have like an accent, sort of like a different accent. I'm not sure what kind of accent it is. It almost sounds like French and Spanish mixed together. But he's got the same sort
Italian, you uncultured.
Oh, sorry. He's got an Italian.
I have no idea. I have no idea if it's Italian. I just wanted to.
But now that you mention it, he does go "Mamma Mia" like 4 times in the movie, so you might be right.
He jumps on the head of a Goomba at one point.
Yeah. It's a me, Salina.
Come on, Michael, calm down. What's your mama gonna think?
Woohoo! Actually, I think it might be a reference to Mario, to Super Mario. Now that we,
it's true. When
I think
he stomps his head after, if you listen really carefully, you can hear Echo go. Rum, bum, 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 bum.
I don't know why he had a brother named Luigi.
Yeah,
but,
he does have a
he in the second movie. He's got a brother that shows up that looks the same but slightly taller. And
this dead horse is beaten.
It's dead.
Jason just shot the horse with a shotgun. Oh my god, Jason, put the gun down.
If you're listening to the audio only version, you're witnessing a murder. So they go to interview Michael, and they walk into the proverbial chessboard, as he pointed out, which is fucking great. I was like, what does this remind me of? And
what does this chessboard remind me of?
I think Dr. Sartain is like, don't cross over that line no matter what you do. And I was like, oh, he's going to walk over the line. But he doesn't. He walks over. Michael's facing the other way. He holds up the mask. And all the other inmates start losing their mind. And I was like, is the mask evil or is Michael evil? I think it's just that these people are crazy. I like the guy with the umbrella. I thought he was pretty gnarly.
I thought it was like almost like a magnetism thing, like the mask and Michael came together and it created like this spark, this energy in the air that's what kicked everybody off.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
Yeah, because I mean, you have to imagine that Michael probably is non-responsive to almost anything and everything around him at all times. So all these people are just like used to Michael Myers standing in the yard, never moving. And then he does have like a slight head turn, so all these maniacs are just like, "Whoa, we ain't never seen Michael flinch before." Like the umbrella guy, who his weird
Hey,
thing
Mikey,
is,
he likes it.
yeah, exactly. I like that when they walk out, they're like, "You need to tie your left shoe because the guy with the umbrella will go fucking nuts if he sees that your shoe's untied." And I'm like, okay, so he understands Michael Myers. He's Michael Myers' personal doctor, but he also knows all the idiosyncrasies of all these other people that are out here, the things that are going to drive them off the
He's got
wall.
more than one patient.
For sure, but I just like that, like, he tracked that shoelace. I mean, it kind of just shows like what that how aware he is of everything around him, right? It elevates the tension a little bit more because he's allowing him to continuously get close. He allows him to take the mask off. He doesn't try and stop it in any way. And like you said, this is the chess move because he is the one, or at least in his mind, he is the one playing the chess game, right? Like he's moving his pieces into place.
Yeah, and those are the pawns. I mean, those podcasters, they don't last long, guys.
Yeah.
They sacrifice for the plot of the movie.
And, you know, in like a different era, these two would be probably the main characters until the end.
Exactly,
right?
which is, I love. I know we're jumping ahead a little bit, but I was so happy when they died, like a third of the way through the movie. I'm like, because the resurrection was like was it the reality show? They should set up the cameras in the house, so like they kind of already did that trope, and I was like, I don't need this like reality show.
Yeah, but her death,
in.
we'll get to in a second, but her death is directly related to when Michael Myers, we find out he can drive in one of the movies, and he rolls up to this gas station and kills the mother, but doesn't kill the daughter. And also that whole sequence, there's just so much Halloween goodness in there. We'll talk about that in a minute. But as this goes on, as they freak out, that's when we get the credits, and then we go directly over to Haddonfield. And
love a good title drop with like an intense musical sting. It's so
with the same
it's very Ghostbusters.
Yeah, Ghostbusters invented the title drop.
In my opinion, they did.
In your experience, you mean?
Yeah.
No, it's good though. It gets me fucking revved up, right? Like I love a good title drop, and we've done a few of them in the last couple of months. Like not even just the Grimoire stuff, but outside of it, you know, like I love when there's 10 minutes of nothing and then a title drop with full credits. I love full credits.
You forget that you haven't seen the credit or the title yet.
Yeah, and I liked this movie. This movie decided like we're gonna do full credits. Like they don't have to do that anymore, right? There was a time in film history where all of your credits had to be shown before the movie began. That got moved to the back end, and there was a time where you would get fined as a filmmaker for not doing it, right? Like they would charge you money for not doing it. George Lucas famously like got kicked out of the Directors Guild because of not wanting to have credits at the beginning of this movie, because he's like, no, I want it to open with the title and I want the crawl and then I want the movie to start. I can't have 5 minutes of people's names because I've already got 2 minutes of information.
Was that Star Wars or was that THX 1138?
It was American Graffiti.
Oh, I forgot about that one. Yeah, that makes more sense. I forgot about that movie.
Yeah. You know, American Graffiti. We interview Laurie Strode, and they kind of ask her if she thinks if it's an actual boogeyman, like a monster, or just a serial killer, and she seems very unimpressed with them.
But the implication there being, which it does kind of carry throughout the movie, is that people don't refer to him as the Shape; they refer to him as the Boogeyman. Like that's what his nickname is the Boogeyman in the podcasting world, or the investigative journalism world, or even the news reporting world. That's probably what they called him, right? Because he showed up one night, killed a bunch of people, and disappeared. The Boogeyman makes more sense.
The man in black from Halloween 5 stepped off a bus, kicked a puppy, and told you podcasting wasn't.
Oh, that's who it was. He was wearing a flat-brimmed West cowboy hat or whatever those things are called. Yeah. He had a German.
Is that the same guy from Poltergeist 2? Did you guys do the Poltergeist movies?
I've seen the Poltergeist movies.
We haven't done them on the show.
But Poltergeist 2 has that, like the man in black with the hat. Like,
right, yeah. I haven't seen those in so long. That's another one that absolutely terrified me as a kid because I saw it a little bit too young, but it was freaky. Yeah. Zelda Rubinstein.
This house is closed.
Laurie seems unimpressed we find out that Laurie is now twice divorced, and she has a granddaughter and a daughter.
Yeah, lost custody of her daughter when a long time ago, never got it back.
And we also find out
she convinced two guys to marry her somehow.
Yeah, and she only had one daughter, played by Judy Greer, who's supposed to be like
whoa. They
35
never.
in this movie.
Let's not close that door. They never said she only had one daughter. There could be other daughters out there that they just
and maybe a son, Josh Hartnett. Yeah.
Josh Hartnett,
or Paul Rudd.
Paul Rudd, yeah.
Yeah.
Paul Rudd. What was Paul Rudd's relation? Oh, Paul Rudd was little Tommy from like the original, right? We don't have to talk about this. This is a movie we're not talking about.
This is another one of the franchises where there's so many, like, there's so much like superfluous bullshit that exists.
They were absolutely right to ignore all the sequels. Like they would have been so bogged down by details and all this meaningless canon if they tried to.
I can't wait to watch the other two movies because they got to pull some stuff from somewhere. So
they pull it all from the first movie, Jason. All
from the first movie. Yeah. Okay. Well, then Danny McBride has his work cut out for him. They also let Laurie Strode know that they're moving Michael, as we know, is not a good thing to do because, well, this all seems like a bad idea.
To be fair, there hasn't been 12 movies of him breaking out at this point in this canon, so he's only ever broken out once.
Movie. Yeah, but 100% of the movies so far.
That's true, yeah. I'm just saying that if it was the 14th time that they were moving him, they'd probably have like a full military escort or something, you know.
Took me forever to realize in Scary Movie 2 when Shorty is rolled up by the giant weed plant, this was a reference to the braces in Poltergeist 2. Well,
it is, yeah. Jason, once you watch the Poltergeist movies, you'll understand the reference as well.
I'll have to go through all the Poltergeist goddamn movies now too, huh?
There's only 3.
Now that I'm done with Death
and the
Stalker.
remake. Don't watch the remake. Don't watch.
It's going to be like when you watch Scream 2 and you're like, wait a minute, Scream 1 is referencing Scream 2 or whatever.
I'm watching the last movie I was watching before I left work was Raging Bull, and I was like, this is way more that Simpsons boxing episode than I thought, and it's also way more the It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia that I thought was $1 Billion Baby. It's both Raging Bull and $1 Billion Baby. Anyway,
$1 Billion Baby. Holy moly.
$1 Million.
That's called Avatar, and it's James Cameron.
It's his $1 Billion Baby.
Yeah.
Hey.
But I think that episode's called $100 Baby. Anyway, so this all seems like a bad idea. They want to bring Laurie to Michael, and then over to Toby Huss and Judy Greer. They're a family.
I love both of them. I cannot see Toby Huss without thinking of the Wiz.
I do.
From Seinfeld. I'm the Wiz.
I'm the Wiz. I'm the Wiz.
Can't be me. I'm the Wiz.
I got peanut butter on my penis.
I got peanut butter on my penis is the best line in the movie. Like Dad.
Why
would you say that? He's like, what? It's true.
Do you think he's high? Do you think we never saw him smoke any weed?
He seems like he
was like a little. Well, I mean, there was a scene later where he's like, "Your dad used to sell me peyote when he tripped out in the woods." It's like, yeah, maybe he's just kind of stoned all the time.
He seems like he might have like either like a medical license or something, and he just kind of like he's got chronic pain.
And he's like he's a shed. He's a shed dad, you know.
Yeah,
I knew these dads growing up who would just go to their shed all day, and you walk in there, and it's like, why is it so hazy and smells like Dad,
are you in here?
Yes.
I gotta go to shed.
His name is Ray.
Well, I did want to mention that like Laurie, one of the things that I think is really cool is that they're releasing him, Laurie. Or not, they're not released. They're moving him, Laurie, and she's like, she knows the exact time of day that it's gonna happen, and like, she's like, I fucking know. You think I don't know? Have you seen? You had to drive through like 4 gates to get up here. Like, imagine like she keeps opening different gates. It's like this lady is insane.
Well, she's able to shut down her whole house in a very similar way to what you're describing.
Well, I mean, this is the most Home Alone adjacent movie we've ever done, I think, but we'll talk about that later.
Yeah, this house that they go into,
this is the Home Alone of it all.
Yeah,
pretty on the nose.
This is not the Strode house, right?
No, this is her. She built this house herself. Yeah. Oh, you're talking about the family home? Yeah, no. They don't really. They don't go to the Strode house in this one, which would be interesting if like that's where he went first.
Yeah, I think the only reference to that is the dollhouse. We see at like the end of the movie. That's
it's
in
burned.
Laurie's
Oh, yeah.
bedroom or whatever.
I cannot picture Cotton Hill whenever Toby Huss is talking. The peanut butter line is great. The comedy as a whole feels so natural. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like that, when you watch a Jordan Peele movie and there's jokes in it, it doesn't feel like weirdly out of place. And
Yeah.
Same with the Zach Kragers.
This character reminds me of friend of the show, Matt Phelps, like the dad character. I don't just like in terms of like how he is. I'm like, this is like what Matt Phelps going to be like in like 25 years.
Michael Myers' favorite dance is the cha-cha-cha.
That would be a good joke if it was for Jason Voorhees.
But yeah, they're moving Michael. I like this rant that Ray does about like, you're out there with this boy and you guys are gonna get married and you're gonna end up being rednecks basically.
Pregnant.
And basically Alice, is that her name?
Allison.
We go over to Allison and her friends. It's Halloween in Haddonfield. And they kind of recap what had happened 40 years ago. Nobody's afraid of it. Michael isn't Laurie's brother, which I guess got lost somewhere along the way in the movie.
I think that was the fourth one is when they introduced that because
No. Oh yeah, I guess so. Yeah, because the third one had nothing to do. I was going to say I think it was the third. Absolutely not the third one.
The third one has nothing to do with anything.
No.
The third one.
The third one
Michael Myers on a TV at one point.
The third one the third one, the Michael Halloween is a movie in the universe of the third movie. Yeah. But I love this moment. It's like one of my favorite moments, and I typically hate everything that comes after it when they're at school. But these three walking down the road, just talking and chatting, I'm like, it feels natural. I like the conversation they're having.
Also,
like
direct throwback to the first one.
It reminds me of the kids talking the first one, Laurie and her friends.
Well, I mean, I think that
see a car following them. In the first one, we had like Michael in the station wagon kind of following them, but that didn't happen in this one.
Yeah, we all know that Michael's got his learner's permit, guys. We don't need to keep hammering that fact. I like this guy. I don't know if you guys have ever played the game The Quarry. You ever played that game?
I haven't played The Quarry yet, but I know what it is.
Yeah, I played it like a bunch of times.
Not as good as Until Dawn, but same studio that made Until Dawn.
Is that
Dark Pictures games? Yeah,
is that Dylan Arnold, the guy with the Alice's boyfriend, or the guy with that looks like the other guy's friend, the guy that tries to kiss her later?
It's neither of them. It's a different character who dies. He's like the boyfriend of the babysitter.
Miles Robin,
get like stabbed through the back of the head or whatever.
Yeah, he's pinned to the wall with a giant knife. But yeah, he's in The Quarry, and in The Quarry, he plays like this sort of like queer character who's like very funny and interesting. And I'm like, I like this character a lot. And then that's him, and I'm like, oh, it's him! It's my favorite character from The Quarry. He's here. And I got kind of excited because I'm like, I can't wait to see what kind of funny stuff he says. Doesn't ever say really anything funny, and he's just a stoner. And like the thing that he does is, I'm like, who does that? When he's like trying to start the motorcycle later, I'm like, why would you do that? Who goes into a random person's garage and tries to start the motorcycle?
Is he high? Had they smoked the weed yet? Because like the plan.
If I was high, I would be way more scared to touch someone's motorcycle than if I wasn't.
Well, he did knock it over.
He did.
Maybe he was high. Maybe not everyone's as scared of motorcycles as you are, Steven.
That's true.
I'm with you. If I would not get baked and touch someone else's motorcycle, but we're not every teenager.
That's true. I'm not the guy who's really okay with putting fireworks inside of a pumpkin in front of someone's house that I don't know.
Well, yeah, like in broad daylight too. It just does that
while smoking weed. Anyway, I like this whole moment, but it's on track. It's like very roadmappy of what particularly the first Halloween movie is. They're using it as sort of a path, right? Like how do we get to what we want to get to? And they're doing a good job. And I think that it's not just Danny McBride, right? Like it's a couple other people were working on this as well.
Three
it also feels like a modern horror, like a Scream or a Final Destination, like that kind of a group of friends.
They're a little bit more realistic, but it's still Hollywoody, right? Like you get to a point where you're like, this is unrealistic, but it's fine because I'm already bought into everything that's going on.
This is a fun segment because when they're at school, there's the funny moment where the dork friend and the boyfriend kiss each other and all that stuff. But when they're in the classroom and Allison looks outside, I think that's paying homage to
It's another throwback.
Laurie, looking out the window.
Laurie,
same exact seat actually. And also the teacher in that scene was PJ Souls, the one who got her tits out in the first one and got killed.
Oh my god.
Her what's out?
Her boobies. She had her boobies out. Remember the scene in the first one where she thought it was her boyfriend. It was Michael Myers, but he had the ghost blanket on with the guy's glasses. And she was like, quit fooling around and get over here with that beer. And then he killed her.
Yeah. Which is also like visually referenced in this movie as well, the ghost. Yeah, I love that Laurie Strode, Michael Myers is like several times in this movie where she is just being Michael Myers, and like she's there by the bus stop or whatever, it looks out the window and then she's gone, and then later she does like, I shot him 6 times, like that moment happens later as well where she falls out the window and then she's gone. Like it happens multiple times where she is pulling Michael Myers moves on Michael Myers. Even it's great.
It's the second movie where it's revealed.
It was the second one.
Laurie has a dream of seeing Michael as a teenager. Then a nurse brings Loomis the documents before he goes back to the hospital.
I thought it was the second one because I remember when we did Halloween 2, I looked into it and it was like this whole brother-sister thing. John Carpenter didn't want to do it. He's like, I want it totally ambiguous. He's a dark, evil force. Like there's no backstory. It goes right back to like Rob Zombie thing. That like originally there's not supposed to be a goddamn backstory, but whoever the movie studio was at the time, Universal, I think, for Halloween 2, they were like, nah, let's make him her brother.
In this movie,
more connected.
In this movie, it hasn't had, like, we haven't gotten to it yet, but the horror nudity is like from Michael's point of view, killing his sister, and I
think that's it, isn't it?
Yeah, there's no
but
it's just
it's crazy. Like it's crazy the model they got for this, because I was like, was that necessary to have this like giant breasted woman through these eyes? Like I felt like it was like
that's from the original movie,
1977, Jason. That was a different time.
I know, but in this movie when they re-show it, I was like, why did they do it like that? It was
because they're just showing footage from the first movie. They didn't reshoot it or anything.
It's she had huge. Okay, love you, Boba. Sorry to torture your voice.
Oh, it's Lord Inquisitor. This is one of our writers for Darth Theorist and the Three-Eyed Theorist. Yeah, speaking of tits, he loves throwing tits in his scripts all the time.
Oh yeah, I love you, Lord Inquisitor. Thank you for coming by.
Yeah, so no, that's footage from the first movie, Jason. They didn't grab a new breasted woman, which I kind of like, because I mean, I think this was like at the height of, or maybe not the height, but like really embroiled in the Me Too thing, where it's like, maybe we don't have to exploit women for movies to be good. And it's true, because they don't show a single breast in this movie, and I didn't even think about it until you just brought it up, or like, yeah, the movie is still, it's not about titillation anymore, you know.
I watched the Friday the 13th remake this week, and there was some very gratuitous. Yeah, 2009. There was some very gratuitous.
Well, that's 10 years before that, but that's because they were trying to breathe new life into Friday the 13th, and they're like, let's do everything that they did, and we're going to do it to the next level, including like having fucking fake tits in your face as a. I don't know if they're fake. I can't remember. It's been a long time since I watched it.
I don't think
can confirm.
I feel like there's even a moment in the movie where she's like, I paid a lot of money for these tits or some shit. Like there's probably one of those jokes.
But Laurie is seen outside, and then we cuts to them having a conversation about the situation. And Laurie tries to give that money in the envelope to Allison, and they kind of talk about how, you know, Laurie tried to prepare Karen as a kid for all this, but the prep was for nothing. But then we immediately cut to Laurie still training her gun skills. We see how prepared she is, and she reminds me of Sarah Connor, like sort of a starting montage of Sarah Connor getting ready to take out the Terminator.
Well, I think that's deliberate,
This
but
victim's
also
not a victim anymore. Yeah.
yeah.
no, yeah,
But I also like there's a part of me that thinks like without all of the other movies and him continuously coming back, this level of preparedness does seem psychotic. Where it's like, because I was watching it with Danny, and Danny was like, "Oh no one's taking her seriously." I'm like, "Well, she seems crazy. Like it's been 40 years since this night, and nobody. He didn't get out. He's been like this is supposed to be from the first movie onward." But then I was like, in my brain, I'm like, "Is it though?" I can't remember where they cut off. Like I started to question it because I'm like, you would think that if it happened to her and then the next night she got hunted in the hospital and then like a couple of years later she got attacked again, and like if it happened a few more times, then this level of preparedness would 100% be warranted, and there would probably be people giving her donations like a GoFundMe being like, hell yeah, if Michael Myers is going to give you $10,000 right now to build a cage basement. But like it just seems insane, right? And turns out that it's not insane because everything that she prepared for happens. But you would think that even she would start to question it after a time if she wasn't an insane person. So I think that my conclusion here is that she is insane. But it turns out that like her insanity
worked out for her.
Yeah, it worked out for her. Yeah.
well, it scrambled the brains of everybody involved. It seems like.
Yeah, I mean, you can't blame her. Like that's some serious PTSD what she went through.
Absolutely,
really, like she was
Even the cop though, the cop immediately, like in every one of the Halloween movies, the police are always like, "Yeah, right." And Frank, the police sheriff, is like, "Batten down the hatches, boys. We got to fucking prepare for this nightmare, man." I've never seen that in any of the Grimoire movies because the police are always like, "Yeah, right." But in this one, he's like, I was there.
Yeah.
I was there that night, you know. I saw his eyes, the eyes of evil. Right there was
unless it's Dewey, unless it's Officer Dewey in Scream.
Yeah. But okay, so he's Officer Hawkins, right? Like isn't the sheriff the guy in the cowboy hat?
Oh, yes.
Oh yeah.
Officer Hawkins was apparently, I think they mentioned it in the movie. I don't think I read it online. He was the guy at the end of the first one who like pushed Loomis to stop him from shooting Michael.
Yeah, that's who he's supposed to be. Yeah, which is cool. I don't mind that he he stayed in the town and never kind of went on. He's like, I need to go to the big city and hunt some sort of Freddy Krueger or some shit. Like he just like
but Jason's going to Manhattan. I gotta get over there.
He stayed in Haddonfield and took care of business. And that was like business was slow.
This sheriff reminded
me. Maybe not. Maybe there's a whole bunch of crazies that happened there. Like he had a Hills Have Eyes situation at one point.
Well, maybe okay. Hear me out. Okay, so in this movie, so Halloween, all the Halloween sequel, all the Michael Myers sequels are not part of the canon. But what if Halloween 3 is like that original trajectory that John Carpenter wanted to be an anthology thing?
Yeah.
Maybe a whole bunch of crazy shit that John Carpenter had originally planned did happen. And Officer Hawkins was there for all of it.
For all of it. He's like, you don't understand the things I've seen. I saw Druid.
Sorry, Steve. I
that was appropriate. It's time.
I just interrupted him fully, though. It's not good.
I don't remember what my riff was going to be. I was going to let it be free flow. It was going to be like druid magic, snakes, a big snake. Lake Placid happened as well at one point. Yeah. So isn't he in Lake Placid? I feel like if he's not in Lake Placid, he seems like a guy who would, like that actor, Will Patton, would be in Lake Placid, right?
There's a crocodile coming to.
What are you talking about? There's a huge, she feeds it what? Full grown cows? Holy shit.
He's in a lot of stuff though. Isn't he on Need for Speed? Or not Need for Speed. Gone in 60 Seconds. That's the one he's in. He's in a lot of stuff, yeah. Love him in this. Think he's got the gravitas, the appropriate level of like
he's in Mothman Prophecies.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that movie's so good.
We did that once. It was the craziest episode we've ever had.
I remember I was bummed I didn't get to do that one.
Well, it's funny you say that because we had a guest lined up. He couldn't make it, and then Alex, who we've talked about on the show, who does the interstitials, made the backwards talking man. He knew that movie so well from owning it as a kid that we were like, we have a chat. It is like, does anybody want to come on for this movie? And he's like, yes, I know everything about that movie.
This is with like 2 hours notice, by the way.
2 hours notice. Like he didn't have to watch it beforehand.
Fair enough. Okay, I would have been the wrong choice.
Yeah.
We almost did Deadpool and Wolverine that night because we had just seen it, and it worked out. It worked. It was a good episode too.
If we had done Deadpool and Wolverine, we would probably have 50,000 subscribers right now.
Yes, that is the only reason we do not have 50,000 subscribers right now.
Mr. Chance.
Where are we in this movie?
Well, the podcasters are doing some research. Dr. Sertrine talks about pure evil. We see shots of Michael getting moved. There was a picture of Loomis on the stand at one point. The doctor is going to be Michael's side through thick and through thin, and we just get a scene of Laurie drinking. It's all very crazy. Laurie is waiting outside the prison with a gun, all drunk.
Yeah. She's
then
getting drunk outside the prison and crying, and like it's very emotional. Like she's clearly this is like the culmination of 40 years of trauma at the bottom of a bottle, and she's got a gun. Like I think her plan here was like, I'm going to kill him, right? Like she was gonna maybe run the car off the road and try and murder the shape.
That's what I thought. Yeah, and she was psyching herself up, like just getting drunk.
There's also points in this where I'm like, I feel like she's gonna kill herself, right? Like where I'm like, she's so tortured that like I could see her in this car in this moment, like her coming to terms with the trauma in a way that is super unhealthy and just like shooting herself in the car. And like I guarantee you there's moments, it's like a person that's gone through this much insanity, her whole life has been torn apart by one night 40 years ago. Like it's probably running through her head as well.
I really saw her also a scene where she shoots him and then shoots herself. Like that could have also been the plan, like getting her, like she lines up the shot, gets it, and then leaves this mortal coil.
I think it is the fact that she has family though. Like she has her daughter and her granddaughter, and she doesn't really seem to give a shit about the husband like at all.
Well, we'll talk about that later. But I feel like it's not even, I mean, yes, her family, but it's more of a sense of duty to humanity. She's the only one who understands what needs to be done. So she's like, I got this duty. I got to save Haddonfield or whatever.
Yeah.
So even bigger than just her own family, I think is the responsibility she felt.
But it turns out that she's actually pre-drinking for this this meal that she goes to.
Oh yeah, she says. I think she's like drinking. And
she didn't need to get drunk about like Michael like moving prison. She just needed to get drunk to like withstand her family,
to face her family's criticisms. Because her daughter does treat her like she has dementia or something. It's
her daughter treats her
also treats her like she's. I don't know if you guys have any family members or had family members or whatever in your life that they're not supposed to be drinking. But when she walks in and grabs that glass of wine and starts chugging, and I was like, oh my God, that reminds me of my very own mother when she's not supposed to be drinking, but continues to push the envelope. Obviously, I wasn't raised in a household where my mom was tortured by the shape. But I did see that like there was.
She did make a weird cage room underneath the kitchen island, though.
That was for something else entirely.
For other purposes, yeah.
But I did.
She's like, Jason, it's my duty to please that booty.
But like outside of the reality or the fantasy of there being a killer, I did recognize a daughter not wanting their mother to be drunk. But they, they talk about the Halloween dance that's coming up. And
it is wild though, like the level of I want to say like disassociation from what's going on with her, because he is being moved. The person that she's obsessed over 40 years of her life and instilled into her daughter. I get the idea that her daughter is trying to disconnect and have that like no contact thing going on because of what she put her through. But the thing that caused the level of trauma between the family, there's a huge thing happening and they're all just ignoring it, being like, just pretend it's not happening. And it's like, what? But like maybe see her through it. But I also get the perspective that it's like, but it's also the big whatever the dance is. It's like a Halloween dance. I don't even know what the fuck's going on with
Halloween
teenagers.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck. I hate it. I hate all of it so much. I hate the dance. I hate the boyfriend. I hate all that shit. But I get why it's like we need to focus on her because she is growing into a person that we need to support her and her ideals, and we have to forget about you old crazy bitch. Like, fuck you, go back to your compound you built in the forest.
This is a good point from Travis. One thing that isn't really talked about but is logical. Dr. Loomis probably stuck by Laurie decades after 78 until his death, and I take that as he kept trying to reach out to her. I mean, that is part of why she wanted to be a recluse, because it's like, stop bringing this up to me. I've already got a crazy gun range of mannequins. The
one of them looks like you, Loomis. It's got like the raincoat on and the bottle of red wine in one hand.
And it's a mannequin, but somehow you can see he's bald. Balding.
Yeah. she drew like hair on the
She
side.
drew the receding hair.
But this is okay. So I think I was wrong at the beginning with the podcast was referring to Michael as the shape, because right here I wrote she refers to Michael as the shape. Interesting. And then she leaves. And then
she doesn't refer to him as the shape. She says, I saw the shape, because she saw his silhouette in the night as like the lights from the prison are illuminating him, and then saw his shape inside of the car. She was just saying, I saw his shape and I remember his shape, because like that's what I mean, that would stand out to you as somebody who is pursued by a man in shadow. You would be like
he's terrified and drunk, and
he's like 6'8" or 7 feet tall. Like he's a giant. He looks like the Undertaker. Like he's a giant man. So the mom, Karen tells Allison about her childhood. At this point, they came to take her when she was 12. Karen has spent her whole life trying to get over it, because she always thought that like this was unnecessary. Like, you're in your teens, maybe it's a little freaky, but then you're leaving the house and your mom is still like, we got to do drills, and nothing ever happens. That would be
it is like it's one of those things where I'm like, movie cool, real life, that would be so fucked up, it would destroy your brain.
Yes. I fully understand why child services came and took this child away.
There are like a million things way less horrifying than this that I would be like, take that child away because of, like training her to use shotguns and shit and kill human targets, and how to like be able to what's it called, jumpstart a car and shit, or be able to like spark two things together to put off a bear trap. Like, the girl is fucked. And you have to believe that she probably totally believed every word of it until she was taken away, right? Because like when she's being taken away in that flashback, it seems like it's a remorseful thing where she didn't want to be taken away, and she believed everything that her mother was preparing her for.
Which is therapy afterwards told her mom fucked her up. Yeah.
So, and because she does keep throughout the entirety of the film, like referring to like, you did this to me. And like, she's using terms that you would expect to hear from a therapist. Right. And she's dropping it in the lap of Laurie Strode, who's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, I don't know what all this bullshit means. You're talking about, trauma dumping and all these things. I'm like, I don't know what that means. All I know is you don't have a gun and you need one because there's something terrible coming. Which I think that this movie does a good job of like making the daughter feel completely justified in all of her actions that she takes, because there's a version of this movie where you're completely on Laurie Strode's side without ever considering the side of the mom. But like everything that comes out of the mom's mouth, I'm like, yes, she has every right to be fuck. Like, why'd you do this to me? I just wanted to have a normal life, and I didn't even understand what that could be until I was taken away.
We lost Jason.
Yeah,
I don't know. Be running this shit
about that.
I'm still here. I'll get us to the next. We go over to a man and his son, I guess, driving in a car. The son just
going
wants.
Hunting? This is another one of those scenes. This is another one of those scenes where it's like there's this whole conversation that has no bearing on anything, like the sandwich.
But I love the fact that the kid's just like, Dad, I just want to dance. He's like, you got to hunt. You got to learn how to hunt.
It's like
you're not doing the proper
dancing my thing now.
Yeah, you guys got to do the impression of the kid, which is like,
Dad, what the fuck? Why the hell you not let me dancing over here?
I'm like, does this kid smoke 15 packs of cigarettes a day?
It's true. He did have a man's voice.
Yeah.
But this is a very.
But I do like that as
awesome
well, because it's
sequence.
like a weird thing to have like a young boy talking about, right? It's like, I want to go to dance class, I just want to dance, and his dad's like, but I thought you liked hunting. He's like, I do, but like I also want to dance. Dad, why the fuck can't I just dance? But I think this whole thing, like, you get so much character out of the two of these.
This is an interesting little, just before we get to that, Karen is wearing like a Christmassy sweater. She clearly hates Halloween, but to anyone who comes up to her at that time of year, it sends the message to not talk about it. Well, I guess if the people know that she's a Strode, but also people are like, that happened 40 years ago. But I do like that, like that imaging of her wearing like a Christmassy sweater.
I didn't even think about that
for Halloween.
This is a thing that I'm like, I've never even considered. But I haven't seen this movie that many times. Maybe if I had, but yeah, that's cool. I didn't think about that. Wearing like the opposite holiday sweater on the holiday. What are you dressed as, an elf?
Well, she just skipped over Halloween. It was like, it's Christmas season now.
Yeah,
it's October 31st. We're getting our Christmas shit out.
What I wanted to say about this, I mean, the scene is classic slasher stuff. All of it is it's well shot, it's well lit. But I really particularly like the back and forth between the son and the dad here, because it gives you so much information about the two of these characters without really giving you much at all. And then this kid kind of like giving his dad back talk, and his dad not chastising for, because you would think, like, again, there's a version of this. Yeah, there's a version of this where the dad's like, I'm trying to take you out to hunt because I don't want you to dance no more. Dance is for girls and queers or whatever. Yeah, exactly. But like,
calls him the F slur and everything.
It reminded me a little bit of like the Royale with cheese in Pulp Fiction scene. They're about to go kill somebody or whatever the fuck they were doing about to do, and they're just talking about cheeseburgers. Nothing to do with the rest of the movie. Like, it reminded me of that kind of sensibility.
But I did like it because also, like, even within it, you have this tension between the two of them. You have this difference of world where, like, this kid is into, like in your brain, you're like, what kind of dance is he doing? I don't know. Is it ballet? Is it sort of like hip hop? Like I assumed hip hop. He just kind of looks like a little sort of Eminem or whatever, right? You're like, he's probably hip hop. I don't know
think about that one.
Yeah, my whole brain is like world building around it, being like, and his dad being like, well, he is good at dancing, so I guess I should. But I should also take him out to shoot rabbits and deer every once in a while.
It's also not played as like a bad gay joke either. You're right.
Yeah, well, it's not a gay joke because I don't think the kid is gay. Like, there's nothing about the kid that seems gay.
And then also the inverse. The inverse is that the kid wants to go hunting also.
Yeah, he also says, I do like it, but I don't like when you take it out when I'm supposed to be, like, I'm missing dance for this.
It's 9 p.m. on a Wednesday, Dad. What are we doing?
Yeah, this is when
Why are we outside the insane asylum?
Yeah,
what are we hunting anyway?
Humans.
The most dangerous game.
I mean, I guess the main point.
Hunt humans.
Yeah, the main point that I'm making is that, like, this little interaction between the two of them builds up so much investment for these two characters within absolutely nothing. Like, there's nothing there. You've never met these characters before, but by the end of it, you're totally invested. This kid comes out of the car afterwards because he calls the police, right? Being like, my dad went out, I don't know where he is. And they're like, okay, well, go out. I guess the person on the line said, go out and look for him. Or, like, I don't know what they said, but clearly they gave him bad directions, because the first thing should have been lock the doors and don't leave the fucking car. But he takes a gun, which is cool as fuck. This kid who's like, clearly he's got experience, he knows how to use a gun.
Well, goes out hunting before.
But then he goes out with a gun and he's like, dad, and then he starts calling him daddy, because you're like, he's scared. He's reverting into like in like a tiny baby version of himself, and you're like, oh god, this is terrifying. And he runs into every scary thing possible. He finds
the scene is so cool because the prisoners are shambling like zombies too.
It's very much like the scene from the first one.
Van.
Yeah, it's again, this is the roadmap, right, that I was talking about earlier. It's like, where's the roadmap take us? Oh, this is where it is. This is the next thing we need to do, and we should, because it's stuff that you remember from the first movie but doesn't stick out in your head as much, maybe, like, as opposed to a ton of the other sort of iconography of Halloween, like him standing half behind a bush,
which we get as well.
Him coming out of the closet, which we get with Laurie at the end, like a bunch of stuff
Laundry sheets.
that they do. Yeah, that they do. But this is one of them that like I remember it from the first movie, but it doesn't stick in my head as much. But in this movie, they do such a good job of sort of drawing it out and involving two characters that.
To me, the scene from the original one does stick out, like really.
It does. Like when he gets on top of the car and smashes the window, all of that stuff is like very, very.
I mean, it's more
when
I guess Dr. Loomis first drives up and just you start seeing the wandering inmates in the headlights. Just that shot is all I really needed,
which they have here, and it's
exactly.
It's just as good. Yeah. I like that he shoots Dr. Spaghetti or whatever his name is.
It's a me, Dr. Spaghetti. That's a meatballs.
Yeah.
I thought it was a great horror moment to have the kid find the police officer dead, and then the police officer's like, "You gotta run." I thought that was a great horror thing.
And then I didn't think they were gonna kill the kid. They killed the kid.
It's crazy, Jason. You were doing an impression of the kid. You were doing an impression of the cop, but the voice was like so spot on for the kid. Like it's crazy.
I did not expect them to kill the kid. That
I'm the kid from this movie.
Yeah. I was in Halloween 2018, and I love to dance.
I also didn't expect him to kill the kid, and I think my reaction was, "Oh my god, okay, he killed the kid."
Serious, yeah.
Well, because before that though, Dr. Citrine pops out, and the kid fucking pops him with a gun too, which was wild.
This moment is the one
shoot.
Yeah, exactly. This is the moment in the movie where I'm like, what in the video game hell are you doing right now? Like this, why would you do that?
At someone not to shoot.
Yeah. I mean, maybe scream, but stay behind the padded cushioning protective layer you have. Don't pop out and then yell, "Don't shoot." But anyway, he gets shot.
Alley.
He gets shot, and then the kid gets his head crushed, or he's got his neck snapped or something. I don't. But I mean, it subverts it a little bit, because if you're familiar with the first movie, you're expecting the roof smash windows, like the horror that is of that movie, but it's completely different. It's just this kid going around and finding different horrors that have already happened, and then we get even more of it later when they investigate the scene. But he goes in the car and he tries to start the car. I'm like, this little kid is going to drive this car? Sick. This is cool. Because I mean, you guarantee this. Listen, if this kid's dad has taught him how to shoot an animal and skin an animal and dance, then he's probably taught him how to drive
and dance.
Yeah, that's the twist. His dad is the one who taught me.
Yeah, he's like, damn, I didn't know that all that dancing I did with you was going to really rub off.
All right, so
what about those piano lessons I've been teaching you? He's like, I told you, Dad, I only like piano. And he's like, but what about piano? He's like, no, piano.
We go over to a convenience store. That's where we meet that sheriff. They get the call about the situation. They go back over there. They find the kid's dad with a broken neck. Some of the not gore while it's happening, but like the after effects in this movie are so gnarly. When we get to the
before we move on from
the gas station in a minute.
Before we move on from the convenience store, because I feel like it's a nothing scene for the most part, but like I love this kind of shit in movies because it tells you again so much about Officer Hawkins, like that he is in this convenience store. The person who works there is like, do you want a slushie? And he's like, no, I want a coffee, which means that he probably comes in there all the time and gets slushies, but he wants a coffee because he's probably working a night shift. But also the guy in there, that's whoever he is, just some random dude, is like basically grilling him for not beating his high score at pinball and telling him how to play pinball, which means he's in there all the time, which means that he probably does not have a lot to do in this town and hasn't had a lot to do since 40 years ago when he pushed Dr. Loomis over after he's about to shoot Michael Myers in the head. I love this kind of stuff because it makes you, it like settles everything into place where you're like, I understand this character based on his very sort of like side tertiary conversations with this random man in the convenience store, as well as the idea that this person knows what he regularly drinks, but he doesn't want something. He wants something different than he usually drinks tonight.
I thought that was a joke. I thought he was
a night unlike another. Yeah.
I thought he was making a joke that he wanted the slushie.
Maybe, but I mean, it seemed like what it seemed like to me is that he often orders slushies, but tonight he wants a coffee because he has to stay up late, which is.
I thought it was a nudge, like obviously you want coffee. But that,
I mean, that could be true. That could be true. Who he is, I don't know. Does he work there? I don't know. Is he just a guy who's in there all the time? I don't know. Nobody knows, but it doesn't really matter because all it really does is sort of, again, like settle this weird sediment into place where you're like, okay, we understand who this character is and what he means to the town. He knows all the small folk, as he would say.
I have an interesting question here from Travis. Going off 78 in this movie, what's your take on Michael's killing pattern? He's got a theory, but I think that we might all just agree that it's like the mission is to get back to Laurie. That's my and anything that stands in his way. He also like notice in every Halloween movie, kind of like Jason Voorhees, noticeably levels up his like weapons throughout. Like he always wants to get to that like blade. Yeah. But if he needs a hammer to kill the person to get the knife, to kill the person to get the better knife, like he kind of that's what I see in his pattern. How about you guys?
I mean, I have I'm of two minds about it because if we go back to the original one, like John Carpenter didn't want Laurie to be his sister and all that shit that like the studios shoved in. So like if you follow all the sequels, which I know Travis doesn't want me to do, but I'm doing it anyway. And it's to go after his sister Laurie for whatever reason. Like he has to kill his family. Yeah. He killed his first sister and then he's killed.
Well, that is kind of like an inconsequential thing because it's like if he's going after his sister, yeah, because it's his sister. But if he's going after Laurie, yeah, because it's Laurie. It's the one person he didn't kill on his rampage the first time, right? So it's almost the same
final girl that he never killed. Yeah, I guess
he never got her.
White whale.
He didn't finish his killing spree.
In this movie, there was the baby. He did not kill the baby. He killed the 12-year-old kid going hunting.
But they made a very specific point of him walking up to the cradle and being like, and then he walks past it.
Looked at the baby,
which we've talked about on
maybe
the
he's
show.
Like
every time that there's kids involved in it, like babies specifically in these movies, he did, and we had theories.
Maybe he doesn't know what a baby is. He's like, what the fuck
like what is that?
Well, there was a baby in the sixth one, right, with the whole pagan everything. Like,
yeah. But he also like eats dogs and stuff. So like,
he ate like at least 5 dogs in this movie.
That's how he sustained life for a while when he lived in that.
I mean, there's a very simple thing, which is like, if he killed that baby, it would be fucked. But they put it in deliberately because they could have easily not had a baby. So. It's like one of like 3 things. 1, he doesn't know what a baby is. He saw it and was like, what the fuck is that? 2, he's like, I won't kill babies because I'm morally altruistic in that regard and nothing else, where it's like, this baby has done nothing and will do nothing, but maybe if it grows up into a dancing teenager, I'll kill it. And then the other thing is like the predator rules, where that 12-year-old was wielding a gun and
that's what I was going to
say. Have some sort of
that like, kid was in his way of killing Laurie Strode, but when he walks onto the Haddonfield street and a bunch of kids are like, look at this tall freak. He doesn't kill them because they're not in his way. He literally looks at them and then turns to the right and goes into a house. And
there's also the other. This is the 5th option, which is that kid came onto set and was like, what, he's just gonna throw me out of the car? And they're like, yeah. And he's like, no, just get him to kill me. Yeah, can you please?
Yeah, that's like a producer's nephew or something.
Yeah, they're like, no.
I just came up with another theory. Here's what it is. So the 12-year-old kid let's go back to the first one when he kills what's her name? Judith. When he kills his first sister. He was how old? 6? I think it was 6 when he killed his sister. So fast forward to this movie, we get a baby who's younger than 6. We get the hunting, dancing kid who's older than 6. So maybe his delineation point is like the age where he started killing. He's like, well, at 6, I turned evil. Everyone older than 6 should be killed. Before 6, there's still a chance for redemption. So I'll let that baby live. Probably not the case, but that just popped into my head.
He's really hoping that baby will grow up to be another Michael Myers.
Oh yeah.
What if that little baby though, like, had a gun in its cradle, and like he looks in and the baby has the gun to his face?
That's a whole other movie.
Eat the baby?
Yeah, it's called Baby with a Gun.
baby with a shotgun.
Google Gaga, see man.
Just some interesting things that Travis is saying here. Frank plays a Back to the Future pinball machine, a movie about fixing the past, but he keeps missing possibly ties to unresolved trauma from the past. The killing pattern of 78 and this trilogy, issue onward, is just random people. That's a good point. Because it does very much feel like Jason Voorhees is a similar thing where it's just like anything in his path to killing is who he's going to kill, and that's sort of what slashers became by and large.
I think that the idea of it being a haunting is like way cooler, right? Like it adds like this layer of dread and the idea of something beyond our capacity to understand what evil is or whatever, right? Where it's like it's drawn to this one person. It's like when, you know, like those stories that you would hear when you were a kid, it's like they left their dog in the wilderness and then the dog came back 6 months later somehow after over like 12 kilometers or whatever. Like the dog found its way home based on instinct and smell. That's sort of what like Michael Myers is that he can find the thing he's looking for, and no matter how long it takes, he will eventually get to what he needs to find. And
I just had another thought. So another episode that I was on was when we did Wes Craven's New Nightmare. And in that movie, you know, they posited the idea that Freddy is like the evil isn't Freddy. There's like this darker, higher level evil that like embodied the idea of Freddy through these movies and so on and so forth. But they stole that from Halloween. Like that's like the whole idea of Halloween was that it was this disembodied evil just inhabiting.
Well, I mean, to be fair, I think that's just like probably every folklore from like a million years since the beginning of human time, right?
And they're all Deadites.
Yeah,
they're all Deadites.
I think there's the one Freddy movie where he's like, I made a dream with the worms from hell and they gave me the power to infiltrate dreams or whatever. He's like feeding souls to like some worms from hell.
That was the sixth one, Freddy's Dead, the final nightmare.
I think so, yeah.
With Roseanne and Tom.
When he rips
Final Nightmare.
He's got all the faces on his body at the end or whatever.
Yeah.
It was like the penultimate nightmare.
No, it's a different one. But yeah, after the convenience sequence, I wrote finds the kids. Oh yeah, we already talked about that. Podcasters go to a graveyard. And the woman, I think it's the woman from Borat, kind of brings them in there.
The second Borat?
No, the first one, the like prostitute.
It's the woman from Borat is the craziest pull I've ever.
That's where I recognized her from.
I'll look up Borat now.
My name is Borat. Remember?
Oh no, she just plays the caretaker in this movie, but she needs to play caretaker on her own IMDb page because her fucking profile picture is cut off like halfway down her face.
Is it her?
I don't know. I haven't gone.
Diva Tyler. Let's see.
I like this little moment though, where she's like, you know, I'm the caretaker here, but like, there's so many other more famous graveyards that have like, and she starts naming a bunch of dead people. And then
she's like, that other graveyard's got James Brown. I don't remember everyone she said, but we just got this shitty little.
It felt very much like it was supposed to be like a very funny joke moment, but like the way it's shot is so stoically, clinically dark and horror movie-esque that like all her lines are being lost on the cinematography and you're not listening to what she says. And then the last one is like, and then Bernie Mac, and then they're like, here it is, and it cuts to like the Judith I was gonna say Voorhees, Judith Myers grave, and she's like, so maybe you two can finally explain to me why the fuck she's so famous or whatever, like why do people keep visiting this grave?
Can use Google, lady.
Yeah. So, okay. So here I figured it out. So it's not the same person. They do look very similar. But interesting that I just learned, and kind of a spoiler, this character is called Caretaker in Halloween and then becomes a named character in the next two movies.
Well, I think maybe you just solved the mystery of what
our
biggest fan has been talking about, what Travis has been talking about the whole time.
Yeah, just these nothing characters are just going to become amazing. Oh my goodness. Oh my damn. But Lunel is the name of the woman from Borat who shows up as the prostitute. And I'll show you. Tell me this doesn't look exactly like the woman who was the caretaker.
Yeah.
And don't give me that don't give me what you want to. Yeah, don't do that, because
I mean,
they literally both have dyed
But that's
Blonde
that's
hair.
like being like two blonde people are the same. Anyway, let's let's move on.
Okay. Okay. So anyway, they kind of take her through there, them through there, and we get a recap of Michael killing his sister. That's where we get that recap that I was talking about earlier, and then over to the local hospital. Dr. Sertrian is there. The police are trying to get info. The sheriff realizes it's
Every
Michael
time you
Myers.
say his name, I'm like, it sounds like a boner medication or something like Dr. Citrine.
Sertraline, I think, is the boner medication.
Sertraline.
Right?
Okay, that's why it is. I don't know. I've never had to take a boner medication before, but probably one day.
Never had to take a boner medication before.
Why don't
Yeah,
you just
I
take it
do it.
for recreational purposes? Sartane, not Sertrine. Sartane. He's Italian. He's Luigi's brother. But guess what happens during this sequence, guys? Guess what happens? Guess what happens? It happens in the scene.
What happened?
That's when they said the name of the movie in the movie.
The title drop
I don't think.
is, what are you going to do? Cancel Halloween 2018?
Did they say that? They didn't say those exact words.
He does. Well, he doesn't say 2018, but he says.
Well,
it's
no,
gonna get
yes.
canceled Halloween.
You can't really play that game with Halloween movies. It's just the name of the holiday. Like they say the word
Listen.
Halloween like 20 times in each of these movies.
Do you want to hear? Listen to me when I say this to you.
That's when they said the name of the movie in the movie.
Now, what is it that made you choose this specific?
I almost
the word
brought up the
Halloween?
fact that the screen pops up and says October 31st. And if you looked at the Times signature of the movie, it was almost 31 minutes. It was 33 minutes. But it was
crazy.
almost 31 minutes into the movie. I bet you could make it work, but they say
That's
the name of
bonkers.
the movie.
Nice eye to detail.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I wonder if
We
that
should
was,
add that to IMDb trivia.
yeah.
People
They
will
say
thumbs up that
Halloween.
shit.
But
It says
IMDb, the
October
EYE MDB,
Yeah.
which is like for perverts.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. That's cool. Maybe that's a thing. Maybe they did it on purpose. But also,
Yeah, no, it sounds like.
did they say? Have they not said Halloween like 20 other times in the movie?
No, that's
before this?
that's my point. They definitely said Halloween like 100 times. In the
I think it was just the point that the way that he said it.
What are you
That's,
gonna do? Cancel Halloween?
it did stick out to me, and I'm sure like that whole idea was brought up in like almost all the other sequels. But also, what it reminded me of though was Jaws. You're just like,
Yeah.
okay, cancel the beach.
Because he's got the mayor vibe, yeah, and like,
Yeah.
but also like, it's not like this is a tourist town where it's like, if we cancel Halloween, then everybody will leave. Nobody will want to come
And
to
then
our
what got me was when he
beaches,
turned
our
to the
great
camera and
Halloween
winked.
beaches.
I can't believe he
This-
turned to the camera and winked after he said that though.
Yeah.
This one's a little egregious. My friend thought Martin Lawrence and Forrest Whitaker were indistinguishable.
Wow.
Yeah, that's racist.
That's racism. You should credit the Borat actress as the Halloween one and
She probably won't check it because like clearly she
What
hasn't
about-
checked her own IMDb.
Luann from Borat was actually the caretaker.
I
in
feel
Halloween.
bad though because like her IMDb page is clearly like a picture from some other show that she was on. I don't know what it is, but it's like half of her face is cut off and the other is like a guy's elbow or arm coming in. And it's like
If you click it,
fix that.
If you click it, the whole picture's there. It's just the IMDb cropped it.
I know, but like she can go in there and fix that herself.
Oh, I guess so. But she doesn't fucking care.
She doesn't.
Probably
She's
a
not
man-
even-
like an agent.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Ain't nobody
People
got time
don't
for
want to
that.
come. Bernie Mac is buried there. Okay. Podcaster's looking at more files as a van pulls up. Okay, so this is my favorite sequence of the movie, but you guys know that I've asked this question about every single horror movie we've ever done. If there's anything happening in the background, and there like never is. But I immediately saw the tallest man in white walk across the background of this movie, and then they cut across, and then you see a guy in the background start like wailing on something behind something.
Oh, we're at the gas station now. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
And
Yep.
that was the best thing I've ever seen in a movie.
It was
Like
so
that
good.
was
This scene was
so
well
smart,
done.
so well done, and it's one of those like blink and you'll miss it. Like I'm sure many people watch this for the first time and didn't see this, and I know this happens in other Halloween movies specifically, but this one, man, I'm so glad
there's
I
actually a
caught
ton
it.
of points in the scene. There's before he starts to walk, like you see him kind of like by this truck that clearly it's a stolen truck. Like it looks so much like the car that he stole from the first one, except in truck form. Like it's the same color, probably like the same
So
year
good.
and everything. Like it, you didn't even need to know that or be shown that he stole this truck to know, like, oh, that's the truck that Michael Myers stole. Like it just had that vibe.
One of the
the pounding behind the window, and it keeps going from there.
One of the great things about it is like they still frame the scene in every shot like it's just a tension building scene. So like you can watch this, and if you do miss it, it doesn't really take away or detract anything from what's happening because all of it is still important, right? Like usually they would have scenes like this where it's like they'll either make it very obvious that we can see it so that like the characters on screen or like whatever they're doing, it's just busy work for that, or it'll be the reverse, right? Where you focus on whatever the reverse is. Whereas this is like everything that's happening on screen is kind of important in terms of building tension, which is why I love it. It's so well done, and like it is one of those things that you don't see done well ever. I mean, I can think of maybe like a handful, like The Exorcist 3 does a really good one of these at one point, and like that's all I can really, that's the only pull that I can make right now, like off the top of my head.
I think of like sitcoms that do good world building, like this Community does things like this in the background, probably
right. The birth
paying homage.
Beetlejuice,
yeah, or even like It's Always Sunny has like through line stuff, you know, like I just
but it's smart to like build
good.
a scene that you know it is there because it's there to build tension because you're like, oh, something's going to happen, but you're so focused on the characters in the foreground that you miss these bits that are happening in the background. And not
did you guys realize like when you saw him in the white killing somebody, you assume he's killing somebody, you can't see. Immediately I was like, oh, he sees the blue coveralls, he's getting his outfit. Like did that strike you guys before?
No, it was what it was for me is I saw somebody in the background that looked weird, and I was like, I'm gonna see if in the next scene I see that more. And then literally the next thing is him like clearly fucking somebody up in the background, like clearly like doing stabbing motion, or I thought punching, but then I realized probably stabbing. And then they show the guy that they're looking around the gas station, and they find the guy who's missing all of his clothes. But like people that work in a garage are usually wearing coveralls. And I was like, oh, fuck.
Yeah. Wait a minute. People who work in a garage aren't usually in their underwear.
Yeah. They're not usually in their underwear bleeding on the ground.
Beaten up with their like jaw missing. But yeah, there was the guy working the front desk, his jaw's like torn off. That was fucking cool.
It's like totally like dislocated to the side.
Yeah. And then he has a bunch of teeth.
Yeah.
God. And then we get to the bathroom scene, which is like iconic,
which is incredible because it's a retread of it's a retread of that sequence. And the
which they also do in one of the Rob Zombie movies, but it's crazy because they get Ken Foree, who's also like a huge horror movie icon, right? Like he's in tons of stuff, and they have him, who's like a big guy as well, like go toe to toe with Michael Myers and like kind of like almost win at one point, but it's like, no, obviously you're not going to beat Michael Myers. This is one of the things that like I say that I don't really like those Rob Zombie movies, but there is stuff to like in them, right? I just think they're a little bit mean and too.
They have their similar homage moments, like the second one. So here's a bit of trivia. So up until this movie, and I forget the actress's name, there was an actress that wasn't Jamie Lee Curtis that was in the most Halloween movies. She was in 4, 5, and then she was in Rob Zombie's 2, and I forget what her name is, but she was like more the Halloween girl than Jamie Lee Curtis was, just not as famous. But then these movies came along, and now Jamie Lee Curtis has been in more of them than anyone else.
Yeah.
But this gas station scene it's like an exact replica from Halloween 4.
Yeah.
I hate it, but I like it because, like, I mean, my brain is like, oh god, another one of these. But at the same time,
it's done so well though.
It is done well.
And it's so gross when she's trying to get away, and she's already looked through all the stalls, and she's like almost barfed at how gross the stalls are, and then she just like crawls through them all trying to get away. it as like a gross, but not that like not the gore kind of gross. Just like, oh, she's crawling through other people's.
It's just everything that I mean, nobody wants to ever be belly down in a public bathroom ever.
Yeah, that's probably true.
No, I clocked that as well. I do like the tension of him coming to the stall and like trying to get in, and then like really trying to get in, dropping the teeth, her trying to crawl away. The other podcaster, I think his name's Aaron, comes in. Michael, the Shape, just fucking beats his head off the wall, and then he's still alive.
His name's J. Michael the Shape.
J. Michael
Esquire. I'm here to rip out your teeth.
Beats him so inconceivably, and then lets him live for a second. And then
I think that's the last thing he says before he dies. He goes, inconceivable.
But the thing that I like about this movie too is Jason, the Shape, just you see him with a person shaking them, and you just hear their little to know that he broke their neck, and that's it. That does more than a head rip or a face punch.
Yeah, it's good, and it's also like one of those things where he's literally just here to get his mask. Like that's the main. Yeah. I think that's the main thing. It's like he like what I said earlier, which this also gives into like there is a supernatural element to this guy. He was drawn in this direction specifically because aren't they leaving? Like they're going somewhere else, right? Like I don't remember.
Yeah, they're on their way to Haddonfield, I think.
And but he just so happens to find the people that have his mask, but at the same time, it's like the dog that can sniff out anything if they need to. It's like he finds them out.
This is a good point too, because there's that van that pulls up and the weird old woman sitting in the front, and her eyes drift over and drift back really quickly. And I think this is what Travis is saying, that we hear a wrench fall in the background and her eyes move towards it, implying that she's the first one to see Michael killing the guy. But she's like an old woman, like clearly being taken to town from the home. But it's so like it's reminiscent of old horror. Like I would imagine a scene like this happening in like an Insidious movie or Exorcist.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think that she's meant to up the creep factor, right? Like that's their whole thing. I didn't track that she was being taken from the insane asylum, but that's
no, not this. Like a home, like an old folks
long-term care home. Yeah.
She didn't look that old. She just looked like she was like.
I honestly don't remember this character.
She's just like a woman. She just looks like a woman. Like she's like a woman.
I thought that she was like. Was she driving that?
No, she's in the passenger seat, and she's like, and she looks like she just doesn't know what's going on, and then he waves, and she's like doesn't react. But then the ding, she does react to that, but she doesn't react to him. Like I think he gives her like the peace sign or whatever, and she doesn't do anything. And he's like, okay, well, fuck. I truly have no idea. He pulls out a recorder and he's like, note to self, I truly have no idea how to interact with any American. Every single one of them calls me a queer for some reason. I don't understand.
But after the podcasters are dead, Michael Myers gets his mask, and I wrote, "The Shape is back together." And I thought that was so good. I thought that was a great line.
But you wrote?
Over to Laurie. Listen, she has a secret compartment in her house, the aforementioned basement, which they mentioned earlier, and then over to the family, and they do this thing where Judy, Greer, Karen walks into the house and the back door is open. This was when I was like, when Ray comes back in, clearly was out there smoking peyote or whatever. He comes back in, and it's supposed to be like, oh, you get a sense of relief, but then Laurie immediately shows up, and she's just freaking out about the fact that,
bang, you're dead.
It's very
Michael's
good.
back, and he's already killed many people.
I like this because it shows that the movie is preparing us to be worried about this family, but maybe not in the same way that we're worried about Laurie, right? And then the fact that Laurie is already there, and she's the one that opened the door most likely, right? Like she came in and is hiding in the house.
No, it was literally Ray was just out back doing yard work.
I know, but she's in the house, right?
Laurie's here Laurie's testing her daughter, right? She's
Yeah.
like,
Okay.
why the fuck is there no security in your house?
Yeah.
The daughter Karen is like, what are you doing in my house, Mom? And she's like, I think the question is, how did I get in your house?
Yeah. She's also brandishing a gun, and she's like, "Take this gun, take this gun."
She's also like using it to point, like gesticulate, and you're like, put that down.
Yeah, she's like Homer and the
No, she's not doing that. She has good gun form. I'm just joking. But yeah, she is immediately criticizing everything. He was trying to understand American gestures.
It's like that scene in the first Mr. Bean movie where he's like,
yeah.
Should cover that movie.
I like this a lot, and I also love the moment when they finally get her to leave, and then she tries to hand the gun to them. Like, do you have a gun? And she just like pulls it. It's like, I've got so many. Like, just take this one. And they're like, no, we don't have a gun, Mom. Please stop trying to offer me a gun every time I talk to you. What the fuck? You know that she's offered a gun.
But you need a gun.
Like, this is like the 10th time she's tried to hand a gun to somebody in her family.
Yeah. But after that happens, we go over to the cops investigating the podcaster murders. What's the hospital gown was funny to me.
You know, it would be a great name for a podcast. The podcaster murders. That would be a very good name for a podcast.
You son of a bitch, I'm in. Look for that this fall. I, of course, won't be a part of it.
I'm going to take that opportunity. I like that they the cops referred to that night 40 years ago as the Babysitter Murders, which, as we all know, was the original title that John Carpenter had for the
Babysitter Murders.
That'd be a very different trajectory.
You know, it's a better name. Halloween. It's a fucking name.
I'm glad they went with that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, the Babysitter Murders happened on October 31st, and they're happening again. Only murders of podcasters in the building.
I like it.
As somebody that's seen every single episode of that show, I like that.
I've watched the first 2 seasons of that show. It's a good show. I like it.
It never gets bad. It doesn't have
my favorite joke in that show is when Martin Short's character was talking about how he only eats dips.
He loves dips.
He's like, I've lost a lot of hair.
God, that's so funny.
It's so good.
Yeah.
I think that just as an aside, I think that show is going to be remembered as like a great sitcom, but since it's one of those weird shows that like nobody's really seen, it's just going to exist. Also, Paul Rudd was in both franchises. It's true.
Oh,
Paul
true.
Sorry,
crossover
and Only Murders in the Building.
Yeah.
What if Only Murders in the Building does a crossover with Michael Myers, the murderer from Halloween?
The new season.
Killer in the Building for all the seasons.
It turns out that Steve Martin is Michael Myers. He puts
the mask on, but then he puts the fucking arrow over his head. Stand-up routine.
And then the pork pie hat over top of that.
Yeah.
There was a funny moment where at the end of the most recent season, somebody dies like on the sidewalk out front, but then their hand falls into the courtyard. They keep messing with the idea of like, what is the building and how do you die there?
The building is the murderer all along.
But they're like, well, he died on the sidewalk, and then he gets rigor mortis.
I mean, we all know that the end of that show is going to be that the building they live in is actually like sort of like similar to the Overlook Hotel, like it's possessed by a demon of some kind.
It's the Ghostbusters apartment building from Ghostbusters, the movie.
Tower of Zool.
Yeah,
Tower of Zool. So we should continue with this conversation.
Right. Okay. So
we're doing Halloween. Let's talk about Halloween.
Yeah. So they find the hospital gown, which I thought was interesting. That was perfectly folded up. He also knows they need to hunt Michael. Laurie is also seen there for like a second. She just like shows up and is like frantic. And guess what, guys? It's Halloween night. It's finally Halloween night. We see Michael for the first time in his full gear. He gets a hammer from the shed, goes into a woman's house and kills her with the hammer. He
I
upgrades
like
it to
that the
a-
way he's introed is like two little kids bump into him and they're like,
Yeah.
Whoa, sorry, mister.
we didn't mean to bump into you. And one of them is like, he's got like a fake little mini boombox, and the other one
Which is homage to the second or the third one. There's a kid with a boombox. That's
Right,
a
yeah.
specific homage too.
And
But that scene that specifically happens in the first one too. Like Michael Myers is out on Halloween night and kids
Yeah.
like literally run into him.
And it's great because we all know what's going on as the audience, and then it pans up and it's like boom, 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 and
Yeah, and then we get that one shot.
And it's so good. We already talked about it a bunch. I don't think we need to talk about it again, but it is very impressive. It's one of those shots that I didn't realize was as good as it was until I watched it again the other day, where I'm like, this is actually impressive. Like this is the kind of stuff that is like technically better than most movies that you watch. You watch a lot of movies and it's like, you know, this is great, but like this is something that like a lot of time and effort went into that one shot, and it's like you have to take your hat off to it, you know, like come on.
Yeah, but
Come on,
sometimes
guys.
you watch like a movie that like it feels fundamentally good and you're pretty entertained, but then there's like low points where you're like, this is not working for me, and then it rises again. Mayhem, directed by Joe Lynch, was something I watched this week where I was like, I get that this is good, and I like that it's paying homage to a lot of horror, and I like that it's like an action horror thing, but there are some points in this movie that feel so low budget and stupid that it just makes me bring down my rating a bit. But something like this, where there's no, I've said this a million times on the show, there's no wasted motion in this. Everything is intentional to move the plot forward and to also pay homage to old horror and its own source material, Halloween, that it just all fucking works the whole time. I was never bored.
To me, like
let down.
Something like this moment, like it does truly like elevate the movie for me, where I'm like, you know, like I think about the Rob Zombie stuff where it's like his goal was to like, how horrific can I make the deaths? And it's like, yeah, I get that, you know, sort of driving element in your mind as a filmmaker being like, what I remember about Halloween is it scared the shit out of me because of how violent it was. So I'm going to make it 10 times more violent. Whereas in this, they're like, what is the thing that made you like that stuck with you the most? And it's like, oh, well, that opening sequence where he's going through and it's like you're following him and it's horrifying. They are like, how do we recreate that and try and make something that's just as horrifying? It's still violent, but you don't see any real violence in that whole shot until the end when the knife goes through, right? Like that is the only violent part in the entire thing.
Yeah,
everything
the
else
first
is
woman,
or
you
off
hear her killed off camera, and then they show you her body. Like after.
Exactly.
That's what I love about this whole franchise is specifically to Halloween, is there's a lot of like, some people walk over there and you know that Michael's at large, and then they just kind of show the aftermath of what he's done. And there's a lot of that in this movie specifically, where there's multiple people that die off camera, and then you just see like, look upon my works from Michael Myers, The Shape, which I fucking love. And specifically the kid getting the bigger knife, and he's like, I'm going after whatever's in the dark, and then you see this knife through his whole head, and then the police later in the movie who are just fucking so mangled. I've never seen a human head used as a jack-o'-lantern before.
I think that's the difference, right? Is like between this and the Rob Zombie stuff, because there hasn't really been, since this movie is the first one since the Rob Zombie stuff, right? Which was supposed to be an entirely new remake. And then this is going back to not necessarily the fundamentals, but like looking at the fundamentals and being like, how do we do this? But also like, maybe we can bring it down a bit, because Rob Zombie clearly went too far in one direction, which is like gurgly, gross violence where you're seeing everything, and it's more like a Hostel movie than it is, or like a Saw movie, or like, you know, movies where it's like torture-y. How do we make it scary again without it being like, I don't want to see someone get their toenails ripped off or whatever. Like that's not scary. It's just gross, right? Or like, I don't want to watch gross stuff. I want to watch scary stuff. And this does it. Him grabbing that big knife, like the huge knife, you're like, holy shit, that Michael Myers is going to use that knife probably, right? And then you don't see it, and you're like, where did Dave go? where's Dave? Dave's gone. And then you see
Dave's
Dave
not here,
into
man.
a wall with that big knife. And you're like, Dave got fucked up. I don't know what happened to Dave, but I know that he got fucked up. And I don't need to see Dave get killed in a horrific, gross, weird way. But I do like that Dave did get fucked up. And I know that it happened, right? There's probably a version of the script where we did see Dave die, but we didn't need to see Dave die. The fact that Dave is dead is fine. And it's just as scary.
We already got one knife through a head. I think another knife through a head is better used.
But that's not the point that I'm trying to make. It's not. It's more so that it's like just as effective to show the aftermath than it is to show.
It's like jazz. It's the kills that you don't show.
It's the kills that you don't see. Yeah. He's the jazz player of murder, Michael Myers,
and he's on the jazz cigarettes.
So my next note was that he does not kill kids or babies, but back at
he does kill kids. That 12-year-old dancer got totally fucked up.
True.
Now there's the kid that's being babysat. He's younger than the hunting kid, but obviously older than the baby. But he escapes, so we don't know if Michael would have killed him or not. I imagine he would have.
True.
I
think that he was using. I think he was wisely using that kid as like a lure technique. Like I'll scare the kid. The kid will go down, and then the babysitter will come.
Bring all the babysitters
because he wants to kill the babysitter. Maybe he didn't want to kill that kid.
He's the babysitter killer.
I forgot about that.
He's the babysitter killer, the original name of the movie.
Yeah, he had to kill at least one babysitter in this movie. I love this kid, by the way. The kid is so fucking funny.
He's awesome. The dynamic between him and the babysitter was nice.
It's perfect. It's the same thing as the dad and the dancer in the car. Like you get so much from just this one little small interaction. Anyway, Jason, go ahead. Sorry.
We'll get to that in a minute. He goes in and kills the woman. It wasn't through the head. It was actually through the neck that he stabs her. And that was the scene that we were talking about earlier where she's like on the phone and he's looks in, but then over to the Halloween.
The neck not part of the head. I guess it's its own thing.
It's the neck, I think. Yeah, the head's on top of the neck. We go over to the party.
Jason's he's like the head stab's connected to the neck stab. The neck stab's connected to the
scapula stab. He gets a call from the friend who is babysitting. Speaking of the babysitter killer, gets a call from Laurie, but skips it during that call. The kid knows the kids are going to smoke weed, which I thought was funny. There's a funny exchange there.
They call it Alakazam.
What? That kid is funny. You were right there, Steven. Sorry, but were they watching Repo Man? Or they watching Buckaroo Bonzu?
Nope.
Okay, they were watching Repo Man.
It was Repo Man. I looked it up. It was Repo Man, and there was another movie that was not Buckaroo Banzai. It was.
There was the other movie that was playing on the Hammer Time Lady.
Oh, yes.
She was watching like an old movie as well, and I don't know.
I looked it up in the IMDb trivia, and I don't remember what it was.
Yeah,
it wasn't that interesting.
But I
imagine like came up on trivia being like, in the 2018 film Halloween, what movie was being played on the lady whose head gets bashed in with a hammer's television before she?
I thought it would have been cool if they played
Night of the Living Dead.
if they were showing John Carpenter's The Thing, because in the original Halloween by John Carpenter,
right,
who also remade The Thing, he was showing the original movie The Thing from Outer Space. So
I wonder if
cool if they,
that would be cool. I wonder if it would have been like terribly difficult for them to do that because it is a low budget movie.
Yeah, they would.
But you think John Carpenter being involved as like the man helping with the score?
Maybe he said no, though. Maybe he was like he was also a producer as well, so he worked on the movie outside of the.
It probably was just a money thing where they're like, we can't get the money to do it. I don't know. Yeah, so, whatever. It was probably free. Like it was probably next to nothing. They used something that the studio already owned or something. You know.
Yeah, it's like Night of the Living Dead because they registered it with the wrong. There was a typo when they registered that movie, and they're like, "Well, you spelled it wrong. It's public domain now, idiots."
Yeah.
So the boys are drinking at the dance. Allison sees her boyfriend kiss another girl. When she confronts him, he has every opportunity to admit what exactly happened, which what we saw was she kissed him and he didn't even lean in and kiss her harder, but he still gaslights her into thinking
Jason taking the side of the guy. What the fuck is wrong with you?
No, he gaslights her. I'm taking the side of Allison.
All right, but you're saying that he didn't do anything wrong. This is
Well,
evidence of a man who's already fucked this other girl like a bunch of times. To me,
Okay, that's fair. The way that I saw
But
it was
he
that
was hammered, and like you kind of figure out that he says
well,
that
that
he's,
part
like,
I don't like, but the fact that I thought she kissed him and he pulled away.
No, he pulls away and then looks around guiltily, like he's probably kissed this girl like a million times. And then when he walks away from this girl, she looks at him like, "Fuck this again, your stupid girlfriend. We've already been fucking."
Yeah, I think it's that
he
does this often, but he's drunk, so he's not being careful. And that's like
I think the only reason that I thought it was one way, and then I was like, why is he gaslighting her? Is because they didn't like allude to him being shitty, because this isn't what the movie's about. But
they didn't allude to him being shitty. He's clearly shitty the entire movie. I'm like, this guy's shitty. This is a shitty guy.
A moment later, he throws her phone into what is that
what
even?
is that,
A
custard?
pudding?
I said,
Like,
you know what? Danny also said, "What is that?" I said, "What I said." I said, "It's cheese. It's cheese.
That's
it's a big vat of cheese."
It's also in a closet. Look, this.
Yeah,
what the
why is it?
fuck?
I gotta go to the cheese closet to get another cup of cheese.
Brie,
Brie cheese. It's so good.
But then after all that happens, we're over to Laurie patrolling.
Well,
wait, can I say that my favorite part of this
leaves her phone in the fucking cheese?
Well, I mean, who's gonna get it? I'm not gonna get that fucking cheese.
It's $1,000 phone. I'm getting my phone out of there.
Yeah. I'll eat the cheese off every now and still works. Listen, all these kids live in a very affluent neighborhood. All their parents pay for their phones. They don't give a fuck about their cheese phone.
That's fair. Okay. Cheese phone.
I will say that my favorite part of the movie is that the boyfriend never shows up again for the entire movie. He's gone.
Oh yeah, he doesn't die in this. He's just gone. She's like, fuck off, and then he's like, okay.
I respect the movie so excellently hard for just saying like, fuck this guy. He's a prick, and then like he's gone. They don't give him. They don't give him the justification or like an attempt to try and because like usually we will make him come back and be like, I'm sorry, and like you like try to get you to feel bad for him for a moment before they kill him, and then you're like, yeah, justification for the like his shitty behavior. Now he's dead. This movie is just like, fuck him, he's an idiot. Like, don't worry about him.
Get a death scene.
Yeah. And I love that. I love that so much.
I do now too, that you explained it that way.
Well, because I kept expecting him to pop up and he never came back, and I was like, oh, good, fuck that guy.
But then like the clown character, because all these movies also always have to have
he shows up,
class clown. He shows up, and he turns out to be shitty too.
Oh yeah.
And then he gets killed gloriously.
We'll get to that in a second, but the babysitter friend is washing dishes. Of course, they show the giant knife that is going to kill her, but we find out what happens. Jump scare from the boyfriend. I think what do we say his name was? Cam, or is that a different
Dave?
Dave. Dave jump scares her. He got a dumb.
The only reason I remember his name is Dave is because when the kid comes down, he goes like, "Fuck you, Dave." He's like, "Dave, send Dave up there."
There's a deleted scene where he follows her outside to make up with her, then gets into a fight with two cops and gets arrested. Okay.
Oh yeah, that scene's needless. I'm glad they cut that.
Yeah, whatever. That guy not appearing again. We don't need any. I like what Steven said. We don't need his justification. The fact that he started gaslighting her. I'm sorry that I had my original stance, but my new stance is what you guys are saying. Fuck
no, I
guy.
get it. Like it's a little ambiguous. Like he does not lean into the kiss, but he doesn't.
The way I read the scene,
it
was that she kissed him. He backed off. She saw something she wasn't supposed to see. But then the reason why I thought it was weird is because he gaslights her immediately, and then I was like, oh.
So this is why I get kind of upset when you say this, Jason, is because it makes me feel like you're creating excuses for his behavior, and like you're like, I could have said 10 other things that would have been more convincing than what he said.
I mean, from a movie standpoint,
he's just saying he should have come clean. Like
he should have fessed up.
If he would have just been like, she saw what happened.
If you saw the whole thing, you'd see that I pulled away. But all of it's shitty, and they're teenagers, and it doesn't matter.
He pulled away because he was like, I got to make sure my girlfriend's not looking, not because he didn't want to do it. That's the thing.
Trust me, you sold me. I see it from your point of view now, and you're absolutely right. I'm not.
You can see it in his filthy little perverted teenage boy eyes. Yeah. All he wants is a vat of cheese to fuck.
Just wants to throw a phone in a vat of fucking custard cheese.
Custard.
I thought it
We're
was
gonna have custard at the Halloween ball. Does anybody know?
Custard makes more sense than cheese, but neither of them
put
make any
custard in a
goddamn
weird
sense. I
room.
thought pudding. I thought it was pudding.
I mean, I used
pudding
to
in
work
the
in a
makeup
movie
room.
theater,
The
and
kids will
like
love
the big giant vat of nacho cheese that you'd have to fill.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
that's what it looked like to me. It was like
That's true.
It looked like
Yeah, no,
nacho cheese.
I thought it was like
Listen,
tapioca pudding or
Ever the
something.
voice of reason. Stephen has been able to change our minds about like 3 different things in the last 2 minutes.
Can we figure out what food would be in that bowl that would make sense at a dance? Like, oh, pardon me, could you get me some punch? No, I'm gonna get some cheese in a
Yeah.
Weirder,
Would you like a cheese? I can get you.
Craig.
Do you want a straw for your cheese?
I think it was weirder what you said, Greg. Why is this in some like room off?
a closet. It's not even.
Yeah, why is it in it? It looks like the coat check has like
gym
refresh-
teacher's office made into a coat check, but there's a giant pot of either custard or cheese.
You're like, I need to check my coat. Where do I go? It's like, go into the cheese closet. It's over there.
Oh, the cheese closet. Wow, of course.
Oh my god! Of course, Travis Mitchell has read the novelization, but in the I believe you fully. You're not gaslighting me, are you?
Are you serious,
The
Travis?
novelization, which I've read because I have nothing else to do, nothing better to do. It's confirmed to be queso, so cheese was correct.
So was this a spare queso? Because they were like, well, we got 2 bowls of queso. Let's put one out, and if that one runs out, we have a spare.
All right, Principal
Well, why do they
Voorhees, we
dress
got
up
the
the whole
cheese for
table?
the Principal Voorhees. We have the cheese for the dance. He's like, what? A barrel? It's like, yeah, you said you wanted a barrel. It's like, no, I did not say I wanted a barrel.
bottle. I said bottle, not barrel.
All right, we gotta move this along.
Do we?
Sorry, his name should have been Principal Vor Cheese.
Oh,
Yeah, da-da-da-da-da-dang.
So anyway, we're over at now the babysitter and Dave. He's got a dumb tattoo we don't see till later. Also, title drop technically. They make up. It's shape time. I wrote. They hear a sound. The kid says the boogeyman is here, and then the girl goes into the room like everything's fine, and she does a little prank like, "Oh, he's getting me," but the babysitter's boyfriend Dave goes out to smoke, fucks around with a motorcycle, and knocks it over in the shed. You
bunch
I
of
think
bullshit
Danny
that doesn't
McBride
matter.
might have had a shed dad or is a shed dad himself because there's a lot of sheds with cool things in them in this movie. Earlier in the movie, when Michael gets the hammer, he walks over to a shed that looks like the dopest shed to go hang out in and grabs a hammer. But the babysitter puts the kid back to bed. She tells the kid on Halloween, while he's already freaked out, a story about a killer doll.
Yeah, it's crazy because they start to talk about it, right? Like, what if it's one of those dolls that where the eyes stare at you, and like she starts like it seems like an improv move on the actor's part, but it's like they're like, yeah, just talk about like a killer doll or something, and then but also don't ever mention Chucky. And never mention Child's Play, and never mention anything that is any sort of, licensed character. And she's like, it's like one of those dolls that its face is creepy and its eyes are creepy and they look at you. So it sounds like it almost sounds like something someone in like Rick and Morty would say, where you're like, what the fuck are they talking about?
I saw Principal Skinner and Miss Krabappel in the closet, and they were doing stuff, and I saw a baby, and the baby looked at me.
Making babies.
Right. So the babysitter tries to close the door, but Michael in the bedroom with the kid, but Michael is there, and he stabs her. And the boyfriend hears it, and she gets killed. And I think that was another moment where it's just one of those like.
I think this is maybe my favorite moment in the movie. I would have to say it's super reminiscent of the original Halloween movies. It's scary, and I like that there's a kid that's running around that's like literally narrating everything that's happening, and everyone's confused, but he's the only one that actually knows what's going on. Like, it's always funny when a little kid is the one who's like the voice of reason within the scene, but everyone's like, you're just a kid. We can't believe you. But he's like, what the fuck? And then he's like, run for your life.
Explicit too. Like, he's not just like, there's a monster under my bed. He's like, there was a man standing like
There's
in my doorway. Like, he looked
man,
at me and like went like this, and like he was wearing blue coveralls and a William Shatner mask. And they're like, you're crazy.
It was spray painted white, and he went ding 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 when I saw him.
And then he stabbed me in my carotid artery. See? Like,
Yeah.
why won't you believe me?
It's squirting everywhere.
Yeah, but as the boyfriend goes to like check on her, he grabs the biggest fucking butcher knife. No home I've seen in my entire life has ever actually owned one of these knives.
I've never seen one of these knives
I
in
can
real
go
life.
get one. I have one.
I was a cook for 10 years, and no kitchen I worked in even had a knife.
All right, I think that Craig is gonna go get.
Craig's gonna go get the biggest knife ever, and then it's gonna be like that movie Unfriended, and a horrible serial killer is gonna come up from behind him, and I'm gonna have to say, "Who's that?" Anyway, the police are on the way. Laurie's on the way. Cops roll up. They go in the house, and this part is great because there's no score as Frank goes through the house. It's super tense. Laurie also shows up and tells everybody to get out of here. People on the
That's
street.
not that big. It's not
Not
nearly
that
as big.
It's not.
No,
quite
I
as
have
big.
the same.
I have a knife
fucking
that big, Craig.
Okay.
You're right. I'm sorry, but I
Okay.
still wanted to show you.
Wait, do we all have to
What
get
it
our
looks
big
like.
knives?
Yeah,
What is
Jason's
this
getting his big
turning
knives.
into?
Are we gonna compare? Are we gonna? Is this turning into a knife?
Everybody, whip your knives out. I want to see them.
It's not that far off. It's pretty close.
I have a sword. I could pull that out, but that's not a knife. I mean, I guess it is technically. A
Ding
knife.
ding 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 ding. That's the same knife as yours.
No, Craig's is bigger than yours.
Is yours? Yeah, it is. Is yours
That's
KitchenAid?
Cuisinart? No, it's Cuisinart.
Cuisinart. Mine's KitchenAid. I'm glad we sorted that shit. Yours was probably a better knife.
Madison's gonna be so confused when I walk back through the kitchen with the
Yeah, I was just thinking that. I was like, I hope Pam's not around to see me grabbing knives. I see him to be left alone. I guess I'll just show you guys my knife while we wait for. I love your sweater, by the way, Stephen. I wanted to mention. Yeah, sharp. That's more of like a.
That's
Jason
clearly the biggest knife. Also, Madison's not here.
It's more. Oh, thank you. My sweater is nice, isn't it?
Did you get it from Oxnet by any chance?
I did not. I got it from. Fuck, I can't remember what it's called. It's called. I'll send it to you after. But I got it from like a specialty website where they like knit things properly.
Sounds like Oxnet. I have a very similar. I've seen that on Oxnet, which is where I get like all my sweaters. I have a cardigan that's similar, but it's like very 90s style. It's got like stars and hearts on it, like and it's very like Kurt Cobain-y, like very grunge and like
Right.
hangs off me and doesn't fit properly, but it's fucking awesome. Jason's back.
Hello.
It's
We
also
showed each other our
never want to
knives.
wash it. Don't wash it. Just put it in the freezer. Freeze the stink out.
All right.
Like that bodybuilder who kept.
I think that's a
freezing your-
Nirvana song, isn't it? Freeze the stink out.
Freeze your stink and get real nice. Punch a baby. Punch them twice.
Freeze the
My
steak
uncle has a
out.
cloud
and the
sword called a
smelly-
Buster Sword, Travis, and the gun blade from Final Fantasy VIII on his wall. Myers would have a field day in that place. Could you imagine if they made a Halloween movie where fucking Michael gets a Buster Sword? Dun, dun, dun,
No.
dun, 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 dun. Also, am I your uncle? Oh, yeah, I think I already made that joke to Travis before.
Could be.
Okay, here's a question. If Michael found a sword, would he use it?
I think so.
I think it's like
If he didn't have his kitchen knife, I mean, he's got
Yeah.
his staple, his go-to.
He likes close up, so I feel like a sword, depending on the length, he
Only if
would
he
probably.
had
I feel like if he picked up a sword, he would throw it at someone, like just to stop
Yeah.
them from running away, and then use his knife when he gets close.
True. He'd throw it, but like pin them to like a tree.
Yeah,
so
or
how
just
about-
like throw it like and it like throw it like this, like and it would like chop off one of their legs or something, and they like and then he would like go up and finish up.
I was
How
picturing
about
more
this-
javelin, like
Yeah,
to impale.
How about this scene? When the sheriff gets there and he goes upstairs to the bedroom, he finds somebody underneath a ghost sheet,
yeah.
and he pulls it off to reveal that the babysitter's dead. But did you notice that there's a pumpkin
on.
just like bashed into the fucking the fish tank? I thought that was hilarious. I thought that was a really funny visual sight gag.
He hates Halloween.
Who?
Michael does.
Michael Myers.
Yeah.
I also one of the things that I thought is like if he got if he got like arrested on Halloween night and then was released on Halloween the day, he would just think that this is how the world operates all the time.
Yeah.
Always
He would
Halloween.
think that every night kids are running around getting candy from every door.
Well, he had 6 years. I mean,
that's true.
Of being a
But
normal.
check this out. Laurie catches a glimpse of Michael in the window and then just starts firing shots. Turns out it's a mirror, but the fact that she's just so ready to try to take him out at any moment is wild.
Yeah,
Pretty
she's
cool.
prepared.
Whatever.
This is also one of my favorite moments, though, is when he follows Jason out or Michael out.
You did, yeah.
I did it. And then they bump back to back. She gun butts him, and they immediately are just like, she's like, "God damn it. What the fuck, man? And he's like, what are you doing here? You can't be here shooting shots off like that." And she's like, well, he's back. And he's like, his response is not like, "You're crazy." It's like, "I know. We need to figure this out." Cool as hell.
Right.
This is how you do this shit. Like
right before that, though, so many other interesting things happen, like with the sheriff finding the boyfriend knife to the wall, and then Laurie is chasing Michael and like shoots him, and then we see the tattoo that says 10/31/18 on the shoulder, and then outside is what you just described, where she pistol whips him. Like, so many cool, interesting things happen in such short succession in this movie. It's great.
I feel like they must have had more plan for that tattoo. It seemed really insignificant to me.
Why did they set it up?
Yeah.
Why did they set it up and knock it over like that? Like, who cares?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that about a lot of things, but nothing necessarily in this movie is offensive to me. You know, like when you watch stuff like that, like these legacy sequels where you're like, ugh, there's not really any moment where I go, ugh, when I'm watching it.
The tattoo was the only moment that kind of got, but when they showed the tattoo, it was like, did I need to see that? They already told us what the tattoo said, like in the first 20 minutes.
What it felt like to me was like, that should have been like the trailer. Like it should have been like, bam, and like drags up
film
like
scenes
a foot.
like specifically for trailers sometimes, so maybe that was it.
But also not necessarily always bad. I think that sometimes when they film a trailer sequence, it can be good, and in this movie, it wasn't good. But at the same time, I didn't care enough to be like, ugh, but I was like, oh yeah, it's the date. That makes sense. But I can imagine a world where like the whole trailer is just like his feet dangling, and it like slowly pans up to the tattoo, and then up his head stabbed through the.
You guys know, was this movie released on Halloween? Like some of them were, not all of them.
I don't know. I think the significance is that he was going over there and they were going to lose their virginity to each other, and that's why he got the tattoo. That's my own headcanon for it.
Oh, okay.
And that's why she was so like, yes, you did it. But then she also says, let's go dry hump or whatever. We're going to
you're going to get dry fuck you. You're going to get dry fuck.
This is also a thing that Danny was like, what is that? And I was like, what? And she's like, she said that you're going to get dry fucked tonight. And I'm like, what? That just means when you rub your genitals through the pants.
What you should have said to Danny is like, think about what wet humping is, or wet fucking for that matter.
I would never say that to Danny.
I know. It's too crass. Listen, the cops show up. I keep calling him Loomis Doctor in my notes, but Dr. Sardonis, what's his fucking name? I even forgot.
Listen, I think I am completely okay with us all calling him Dr. Spaghetti, and that's fine with me.
Dr. Spaghetti shows up. He's there with them. He explains the situation. The police are going to take him with them. The sheriff doesn't think it's a good idea, but Dr. Sartain meets Laurie, and he loses his mind over that. And Frank was there on the first day. Laurie wanted him to escape so that he could kill the shape.
I think this is the next big moment where you understand that doctor is fucking nuts.
Yeah.
He's like, you're the one that stopped them from shooting Michael Myers. Oh my God. Is it okay if I kiss you on the mouth? Just one time.
I need it.
The mustache will feel strange at first, but after a while it feels good.
Yes. Or it doesn't, and you can't resist.
And he's like, listen, Doc, I don't want to make out with an old doctor right now. We've got more pressing matters to deal with.
Dr. Plantain or Dr. Bananas? Either way.
Bananas.
Dr. Bananas. Okay, so the next sequence is Allison and the weird face guy. What is his name actually? Because I recognize that actor. I guess is it Gerard Hass? Oh no, that's Guard.
Oh, the class clown guy.
Yeah, the class
like the
like the nerd character. I guess he would be in this.
Yeah.
Drew
Scheid.
Drew Scheid. He's in. I guess nothing I've ever. He's in the Fall and Rise of Reggie Jenkins, which is a show I'm going to watch. He's in Tires, which is a show I have watched. He was in Saturday Night, which I did watch.
The Purge, he was in as Dude.
I've seen Fear Street Part 2, 1978. I have seen that.
He's in an episode of Superstore.
Oh wait, what did you say about The Purge?
He was in The Purge as a character
the TV show.
Oh, the TV series, yeah. So.
I've seen the first Purge movie. Yeah. He looked do you know what? I know him from Stranger Things probably. But he plays two different characters in Stranger Things across 3 episodes.
Does he?
At any rate.
Yeah.
Scroll down a little bit.
Oh, there he is. Okay.
I had to urinate.
He was sweaty teen boy in Stranger Things, and also drunk teen
drunk teen. So these guys, this was actually, I liked this sequence because they jump over a fence and they make it very obvious that the fence.
Did you guys already talk about how he went from being like, I'm a nice guy, I'm a hell of a guy, to being like a pervert?
We breezed over it a little bit. Yeah.
Neck. No, what I noticed about this whole thing, I knew that he specifically was going to get impaled somehow. When they jumped over a fence that was like spikes, and they go into a backyard, and she tries to kiss her, and she leaves. But then he starts talking to, like, he clearly knows the person who owns this house, and he thinks he's talking to the person, like he's like, Mr. Wilson, like I didn't mean to like push myself on her like that. I hope that you can understand. And then he looks up and is like, what the fuck is that? And then the shape stabs him near the fence. And then I was like, oh, he's not going to get impaled. And then when we see him again, they impaled him amazingly. His whole fucking head is just like stuck on a pipe.
Yeah, I think this is like sort of a nice play on this sort of trope. And also is very, if you ever grew up in suburbia, which I very much did, like I lived in like this type of neighborhood. This is the kind of stuff that would happen all the time, right? It's like you would cut through people's backyards, and like sometimes they'd run after you and be like, "What the hell are you doing?" And then like you would sometimes see them, and they would recognize you, being like, "You're the kid that went through my backyard the other night, aren't you?" And you're like, "Listen, my name's Steve, and yeah, we ran through your backyard because it literally cuts 45 minutes off of a walk that we'd have to go through like 14 streets to get around to.
Yep.
Your house should probably just be a path that like goes through to this street."
Yeah, sorry, we need to.
You know what I realized? I just wanted to say what I realized is in between them going to the backyard and then the murder, we literally get a rehash of the Dr. Loomis speech where he's in the car and he's talking about like pure evil. But there's a weird twist to it where he almost seems like he likes it. Like the Dr. Spaghetti really feels like he's not like his eyes are black.
What is it that told you that? Is it when he puts the Jason mask on? Is like that would really told you, or what?
Yeah, ding 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 ding. But he's talking to Frank about how and this is what, going back to what Travis was asking earlier, like what about all of this affects him? What is the marching order imprinted on his being? He wants to know why he does it. But he's also property of the state and we must not harm him. That's when I was like, that seems like a weird thing to say about this guy. Because Frank is like, the second we see him, shoot him in the head and kill him, which is the most rational fucking slasher movie moment I've heard in my entire life. Kill him immediately.
Yeah, it's like he's dead. Well, I'm gonna blow his brains out anyway.
Yeah, he mustn't be harmed.
That's just a thing that he'll pull out his back pocket to say, right, to stop him from being killed, right? Like that. if I was obsessed with somebody who I wanted to stay alive, I would probably try every trick in the book, including saying like he's property of the state. Like even if he wasn't property of the state, I would still say that just to be like, maybe that'll scare this hillbilly off or whatever. Yeah.
But there's that moment where Strode and the police show up. They find Allison. They they can't get a hold of her and all that stuff. Or they don't find her yet, but they can't get a hold of her. Then all the stuff
because her phone is in the cheese.
Because her phone is in the cheese.
Yeah.
And then
it'd be funny if it cut to the cheese, which is now like completely re-solidified, and there's bubbles coming out of it, like bubbling.
You can see like the phone lighting up almost like a translucent, like
or the top of it is just jiggling, like
the vibrations, like Jurassic Park.
I did find it funny in the next scene where the parents are freaking out about not being able to get a hold of Allison, and Judy Greer's freaking out. Her name's Karen in the movie. And she's literally doing Karen-like activities. Like she's literally acting like a Karen through all this. And I don't mean just because she's freaked out her daughter's missing, but the way that she's like talking to this police officer, she's like basically like, I want to speak to the manager. That's what I saw. And I think that was the point of the way that she's constantly like, she's kind of the foil in this movie. She's kind of constantly anti what Laurie Strode is talking. She's kind of like,
I think you're right, but I also think that like the movie does a really, really good job of like making us understand why she has the position that she has, and then also the end of the movie really shows that it never left her. It's still in her. You know, she's like, it's never gonna leave me. I know exactly what to do.
I think the climax of this movie is one of the best fucking things I've ever seen in my life, but we'll get to that in a second. But the police do catch up with Allison, and everybody's on lockdown, and then Karen takes the fam to the basement. We finally get back to the Strode house in the woods, and they go into the basement, and she hands out all the weapons, and then the music kicks in here pretty hard.
Now we're in the end game. And then that dancing kid from earlier comes back in for his tap dancing.
But he's a ghost now, and half his face is blown off.
He's tap dancing, but you can't. He has no feet, so he can't tap dance.
You can't do it
because ghosts, they float. They don't have feet. I guess they're just sheets in the wind.
Ghosts, they ain't got no sheets. They're just sheets. That's what the next poster is going to be for Halloween.
Have you guys done Beetlejuice?
No.
Because that reminds me of the scene in Beetlejuice when she takes the picture of Adam and Gina Davis's character, and then looks at the photo. No feet.
Yeah, no feet.
That is a hey, did you see this one movie? I think that would be. I think we'd be remiss.
I guess so. I mean, for a younger demographic, but the new one coming out, I think, really kind of brought people back to it. But yeah, I'd like to do both. Maybe we do both of those.
I liked the sequel. Maybe that would be like a sequel month that we've been talking about for literally the whole duration of this podcast. But Karen takes her family to the basement. So she hands out the weapons, music kicks in. Allison is told by the doctor to keep an eye open.
Oh yeah, they're driving around at this point. So in the cop car, the doctor, the officer Hawkins, and Allison are driving around looking for Michael.
But here's the thing about this scene that's crazy. They hit Michael with a car. Okay.
Oh, do they ever?
And then they get out of the car, and then Dr. Loomis fucking stabs Frank in the throat with a knife and kills him.
It's a pen knife. It's like whatever, a sword cane, but a pen.
Craziest implement I've ever seen in my life. And then he like does like almost like a scream clean of it. Like
I don't know, like that pen was shown very predominantly in the opening sequence, and I was like, that pen is fucking wild. And they show it because it's got like a brain stem that goes down the side of it. I'm like, that is a spooky looking fucking pen that this guy's got.
The end of it looks like the end of almost a scalpel. If it was like, but it also.
But I'm talking about like the part that goes into like the click part, right? Like like where you would clip it onto your shirt or whatever, like that part. It's like a spine that goes up into the bottom of a brain. And like they show that very predominantly at the beginning of the movie, and it's clearly the same pen because they show that again when he goes and it comes at him. But yeah, it is like a little. It looks like it could be its own horror movie weapon. you know, like a whole other slasher is like the pen killer or whatever. Like
I
Dr.
don't want
Death.
I don't want to be that guy, but I think that Dr. Spaghetti is the literal opposite of Dr. Loomis.
Like, no, absolutely.
Dr. Loomis, I mean, as we know,
Dr. Loomis would have killed him.
Yeah, as we know him in the majority of the films that come afterward, right, which are no longer canon to this movie, absolutely wants Michael Myers dead. He's like, we have to kill him. We can't. Evil dies tonight. Like that's this whole his creed is that, right? And in this movie, this guy wants to understand Michael Myers. He wants to join him on his quest or whatever.
The mask on, and the weirdest thing I've ever seen in a horror movie is Dr. Loomis. And like I'm calling him that now because of the turn. This is like watching Dr. Loomis put the mask on with his fucking broken ass arm with this almost the same coat Dr. Loomis was wearing in the first movie. And then he drags Michael into the back of the cop car where Allison is sitting. Michael's knocked out. And then he gets in front of, he starts driving the car and starts ranting more in the way that Dr. Loomis ranted in that first, all the movies that Dr. Loomis is in.
It is,
about how he's the evil. But the difference is he's ranting about how he wants to understand the evil, and he spent his life studying this in a really weird way that Dr. Loomis never really wanted a part of. And Dr. Loomis, we always thought watching these movies that he was a little off. But you're right. Like he tries to kill him at every chance that he gets. That's why
he understood. He understood that you know the evil isn't meant to be understood. It's just evil.
Yeah.
So he got it, and this guy doesn't.
The difference between Loomis and this guy is that Loomis looked into the eyes of evil and understood they were the eyes of evil from the beginning, and this guy looked into the eyes of evil and wanted to understand why they were so evil, and he's not supposed to understand. He never will.
And it stands
that's why he gets his head crushed in the first movie.
Oh, he stomps it so bad.
But he wants to have a weird, like this goes back to what Travis was saying earlier. Like, what is Michael Myers' ultimate goal? It's the reunion element of it all. He needs to get Laurie Strode and Michael Myers back together for the reunion, and we get that, but not before some other stuff happens. Anyway, the police parked in front of the Strode household, the Laurie Strode household, discuss bond meat, which we already talked about. Doctor rants some more. Allison says that Michael spoke to her, and she will tell Dr. Spaghetti what he said if the doctor.
This is an example of a character being extremely smart, and I love this so much because she picked up on what he was saying and what he was talking about, and like his wildness from the tiny bits of information that he's given her, right? And we already know this is significant from our time watching the movie, but she picked up on it very, very easily. I think that her character is meant to be very smart. And she is, and she demonstrates it right now where she's like, this fucking guy just wants this guy to talk. I'll tell him that he talked and we'll see what we can do here. And she manages to get out of the situation. But then she demonstrates that she's also dumb because when she gets out of the car, she could have just got back into the car and drove the car away, but she didn't do that. She
runs into the woods.
Yeah, or sprinted into the woods. Or maybe she's actually smart because she knows that her grandma's compound wouldn't let her get.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah. But I thought it was interesting how they're having this conversation and they just see off in the distance, because what happens in the car is they stop, they get out, Michael Myers wakes up, they get out, and Dr. Spaghetti ends up on the ground. Right. Michael Myers stomps his fucking head. And yeah, like you said, Allison runs into the woods. But the image that we see from the cop's point of view is that there's just a weird cop car over there. So they try to call it in.
Well, he's also trying to call radio to the car because he knows they know it's the car of what's his name? Yeah, Hopkins or Hoskins or whatever. Yeah. And they try radioing him. Don't they call him a burnout? They're like, fucking burnout. Yeah, I think they're like, he's been around for too long. Like he's like 4 days from retirement level kind of cop or whatever. And he didn't even get killed by Michael Myers. He got killed by a fucking minestrone-brained fool. We know that he's got minestrone in his head because when he gets stomped, that's what pops out of his skull. Right? For sure.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what that was. Yeah.
Yeah.
But the cool thing here is that we get another sort of Strode's gear up moment. We also see the mannequin room. But I get that Laurie,
and she also runs through the mannequin field, and she's terrified. I'm like, yes.
Oh, the mannequin room. I had a note on that. I didn't care for this because it's just a trope that's been done over and over in horror movies. Is the mannequin room? Oh, which mannequin's really not going to be the mannequin? I didn't.
I agree. Bad, I agree with you, but I have one thing that I was like, but it makes. This is a movie where it makes sense. It's not just a random mannequin room. Like if it was a random mannequin room, I'd be like, Laurie, what's with all the mannequins? But she clearly has been shown multiple times through the movie setting up mannequins for target practice. Sure. So she has a bunch of mannequins because she probably has blown apart a million over the years. So she's probably like constantly finding mannequins online and being like, well, I need to make a couple more. I'll store them in this random room that I have in my house. But like, if you do that as a human being, if you order more than like 4 mannequins, you've made a mannequin room at that point, and you have a room where someone could easily try and kill you inside of it, right?
Yeah.
Like it's a scary room. You only get your mannequins. If you get murdered, it's your own fucking fault at that point. Yeah. You cannot have a room
strict records of your mannequins. They got to be in exact order.
Yeah,
you're gonna be able to know when your mannequins are out of place.
I'm pretty sure there's a law in every country on Earth where like the judge is gonna be like, well, she did have a mannequin room, so all charges are free of charge.
You can't blame him for killing her.
Yeah, there was a mannequin room.
The opportunity was there. But yeah, I just kind of glossed over it. Like it's not like I think Prom Night. Have you ever seen Prom Night?
I have, yeah.
With Jamie Lee Curtis. Speaking of which, I think it was her movie, the first movie she did after Halloween or after Halloween 2. But I feel like that had a mannequin room in it. Like they were in like the drama room.
Oh man, it's been so long since I've seen it, but I every movie that has a mannequin room kind of sticks out of my head. But maybe that's one of them where I'm not sure that it's from that one. But yes,
I feel like it did.
Which maybe is like why they put it in. They're like Prom Night, and then she's like, excellent. Like Jamie Lee Curtis goes, and she's like, another mannequin room. I can do it again.
The more horror movies I watch, the more like I notice they're all paying homage to each other.
All the time. Yeah. It's like
I Know What You Did Last Summer. The scene, and I Know What You Did Last Summer when they supposedly killed the hitchhiker, the fisherman, whatever his name is. Mm-hmm. That whole conversation that they have around the car about what to do is word for word the beginning of Prom Night. A little bit of trivia there that has nothing to do with this movie.
I saw 2018 with some family, and when his head got stomped, my mom said, "Oh wow, I thought this was PG-13." I was actually shocked by how gory that moment was too, but it's played in such a way that it wasn't gross to me. It was like they built up this character to be such a psychopath the whole time that I felt no empathy. And to go back to what you guys were saying about the mannequin stuff, I agree fully. I had a question here that was like, why does she have a mannequin room? But the fact that earlier in the movie she clearly is like using it as a shooting range.
These are her extra mannequins that she hasn't dressed up as Michael Myers yet.
And then also one of the great moments here is when Allison's running back to the house, we just get a random apropos of nothing horror moment where she finds the shooting range in the dark. That's all mannequins, and she just screams, and that was just a weird little like.
I don't think it's a
random horror moment.
I think what it is that she is in a horror movie. She's experiencing a horrifying moment, and she stumbles into a horrifying thing that she's not prepared for, and it's like, because I remember when I was watching that, I'm like, she's never been here. I don't think, right? Like, I don't think they let her go to her grandma's house ever. So this is the first
they've
time
met at like the school before.
So she's running towards the light that's coming from the house, and she stumbles into this random shooting range full of like half blown apart dummies, and she's like, what the fuck is happening? Like, I just saw somebody get his head stomped. Why is this what I'm like? I'm running through like a horror video game puzzle. Like I have to like move a mannequin arm to like open.
She's in Silent Hill now.
Yeah, it's. I don't think
that the mannequin room was an unrelated mannequin room to the shooting range. She was like, she's a fashion designer as well in her spare time, so she just had mannequins.
That's where she gets all her money to make crazy traps.
Exactly.
But what I mean to say is that like we already saw that this range was established, and I think the fact that she has to run through it is kind of crazy and cool. Where it's like she stumbles in there. It would be horrifying. Yeah, if you didn't know what was going on.
See a mannequin room in the first act of the movie, you know someone's gonna shit their pants in that mannequin room.
Right. Well, let's see what happens. So they turn off all the lights, and she tells Karen this is what they were preparing for. Allison runs through the woods. On screen, we see the police car. Ray goes out to check. What a dummy. He's going to die. The police are all messed up in the car. This is a scene I've talked about a couple times during the show where one head is a jack-o'-lantern and Ray gets his neck broken or something.
And I feel like they never show Ray smoking weed, but I feel like he's stoned.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got too much bravery for not like a stoned guy, you know, like because
this movie has a lot of people acting like nothing's wrong, and Ray is the last one to really sign up to the situation they're in. He just goes out into the dark like, hey, the cops are back. They must gotta be the police.
But he seems like a good dad and like a good guy. And like even when she's there being a nut bag at dinner, he's like, just calm down. Like, can we just calm down and have dinner? Like every time you show up, you always got to talk about, listen, I've dripped so much soy sauce on my dick and I haven't even talked about it.
Peanut butter.
Not a spoiler, but it's revealed that
we mentioned that.
They talk about that at dinner. So last stand time, Karen goes back down to the basement. Shape gets Strode against the door and fucks her up. But she has a shotgun in her hand and ends up blowing his fucking hand off, which was awesome. Then Strode runs over, turns all the lights on in the yard, which I don't know what that was really meant to do, except for be like
so he can't hide in the shadows.
Okay,
so they can see everything. Yeah.
So the Shape does make it in. They're down in the basement. She's just like firing shots up through the floor. And then she says, kiddo, Karen, I got to go up there and take him out. So she goes upstairs. It's another very quiet, very intense sequence. I think, Steven, you were mentioning earlier that it's that scene with the folding closet is paying homage to the first movie.
Yeah, it is, but I mean the major thing is later, which I mean there's two major things during this whole sequence that are like homage to a point that I'm like, this is how you do homage properly. Yeah. Like you take what we know and we don't just redo it again. We do it in a weird way that you didn't really expect to see in this movie, and they fucking do both of them really well. So one of them, I mean, we can just talk as we talk about it, but like the first one is when she gets thrown out the window, and like I'm not even that old, but I'm like, if I fell that way, my arms would be dislocated. I'd be like,
oh yeah. Let's talk about that in a minute, because I want to talk first about the fact that she's got this whole house rigged up to like, she's looking around from room to room, and then when she clears a room, she just hits a button. And Kevin McAllister, the spirit of Kevin McAllister lives within this movie.
Yeah.
But in the way that, like, when you're playing a video game and you have the ability to clear a room and close the fence, it's like a Resident Evil situation that they're kind of in here.
And I mean, every time she does do it, she says, "Have you had enough? Or are you thirsty for more?"
I did
it like 3 times.
I did make the note that Allison finds Laurie's mannequin obstacle course, which we already talked about, but I thought that was it. I don't know if you guys watched the final season of Stranger Things, but it's reminiscent of that to me. But more stuff in the house with Laurie looking for Michael. She finds Ray, who's been stuffed into a fucking cupboard. Which was wild.
As you do.
Michael is then behind some mannequins, which was what you were saying earlier, Craig, about like, if there's going to be some mannequins in a house, somebody's going to pop up behind them. And they straight up fist fight each other, which is what Steven was saying about she gets thrown off like the smallest roof you've ever seen. But you're right. Yeah, you're right. Well, it's like a roof. It's like size. Probably.
She's also like fucking 75 or whatever. She's
exactly. Old. It's like 6 feet, and then she rolled down a hill, so she's clearly knocked out for a minute. And that's also reminiscent of, I think, Halloween.
All of them.
is it Resurrection or H2O, where at the very beginning she just gets killed for no reason?
It's the
She gets
second.
She
yeeted
doesn't
off
get
a
killed
roof.
for no reason. It's the whole plot of the movie. But yeah, she does die.
But then I think that's what you were going to say, Craig. They do the exact same thing they did in Halloween 1 / the beginning of 2, where Michael looks back and looks down and she's gone.
That's
And
what
then
I've
there's a
been
huge-
saying since the beginning of this podcast is that
There's
she
a huge
fucking...
imprint of a penis on the grass where she was lying.
Well, that's because she lied there and she went... and then she kicked her feet around to make balls. Yeah. But no, like Michael Myers is Michael like several times in this movie. And she even does it when she's not even thinking about it, right? When she's outside the classroom at the beginning and she's like, ding, 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 and she's
just
standing
been
there
thinking about him for 40 years. Like she can't not think
that she's accidentally adopting his weird, creepy abilities.
Yeah. It's not her decision. It's just she's thought about him so long that it's just ingrained in her. She's part Michael Myers now.
It'll be interesting to see what the video game the Halloween game that's coming out soon will incorporate from all of this.
I hope it's
a 1v4 asymmetrical, but I think there's also like a story mode.
Well, we'll see. I love the Jason one, and I kind of like the chainsaw one as well. So we'll see what this Michael Myers one is all about.
There's an Evil Dead one as well, and of course,
the Evil Dead one is not made by the same company, but the Evil Dead one was also good. I like that one too. Yeah,
that had like PvE elements too. Didn't it?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
So,
13th one down. Sorry, go ahead.
Allison makes it back. Right, I already said that. Karen gets Allison into the safe room. As Shape tries to get in, Karen guns up. He opens it, but he doesn't go down. But then Karen, this is one of my favorite parts of the movie where Karen feigns that she's in distress. And then at the second that he like moves into frame, she goes, "Gotcha."
Psych.
Yeah.
I wish for those of you listening, she says "gotcha" in like the sexiest, coolest fucking way.
Yeah, I love Judy Greer.
So of course.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever been like, Judy Greer, I want to kiss you. But
really?
Like, not in
Judy Greer in
this movie. I'm like, holy fuck, that's so hot. That's the hottest
listening
thing
to Judy
heard.
Greer on what's that animated show?
Archer.
That character was like, I want to kiss Judy Greer a lot. But Allison manages to so Laurie and the Shape fight a bit, right?
Yeah.
And the Shape grabs Karen as they're coming out of the basement.
We've skipped over one of the other good homages, which is she shoots him in the fucking chest or whatever, and he's like, and he makes a noise finally, and he falls over, and then the camera like pulls up, and then in the closet behind we see Laurie Strode's face appear from the shadow, which is like the big giant fucking coolest shot from the very first Halloween movie that everybody always thinks about, which is her backing up and seeing the Michael Myers mask slowly appear in the shadow. It's like her face is doing that right here, right now, in front of all of our eyes. It's fucking cool, man. They know what's cool about the original Halloween movies, and they're doing a good job. You don't like it?
I have thoughts about that. I didn't like the lighting. It was more subtle in the original movie, like the lighting seemed more natural.
Absolutely,
this one seemed forced. Like
it did seem forced,
and less subtle.
But it's for us, right? Both shots are for us. There's nothing in that is meant to indicate anything from the characters. In the first movie, it is absolutely meant to elicit horror, right? Where you're like, holy shit, I'm so scared. Whereas in this movie, it's supposed to be like, holy shit, that's fucking cool, which is what it does. So I think it works, right? Like, it's not supposed to be scary. So the fact that they did it is literally fan service, but also like, I'm okay with fan service sometimes when it's doing something that makes me be like, hell yes, this is fucking awesome. Like, remember when he was scary? Well, now she is supposed to be scary too.
Yeah.
If they could do it in a way that would be scary, sure, but like the music is against you, the visuals are against you, even the situation that it's happening in is against you. Is there a way to pull that off? Maybe, but like to have it be him like wandering around a room and not know what's going on, and then have her like slowly appear, perhaps.
Yeah, it's just my biggest issue. It's not that they did it; it was the lighting. It seemed very unnatural. Like when you watch Addams Family, and every time you see Morticia, like the Angelica Houston,
right, it felt like a Captain.
You see like her
like
lights.
eyes.
Yeah, exactly. Like it just seems very obvious that they're using lighting, which just it could have felt more natural. They could have used some more muted lighting. I think
this is interesting.
I think this is this is going to be a big disagree from me, Craig.
Yeah.
I think it fucking rules.
We can still be friends. I'm not. I'm
okay.
mad at you.
Well, I'm glad that we can disagree and still be friends.
I'm not friends with Jason anymore. Though. He's been silent.
Jason keeps just throwing his weird bad takes at us all the time.
Yeah.
Hey man, that feels bad to hear.
This guy tried to say that Qui-Gon Jinn was mind tricking Anakin Skywalker a couple weeks back.
That's a pretty good take.
It's not.
It is. Listen,
not.
you want to hear a take? Listen to this. We see it in the trailer, but an alternate ending was a knife fight between Laurie and Michael in the mannequin field. Michael bleeds out and sits on a tree stump and presumably dies.
He always presumably dies.
Yeah.
He presumably dies in this, but well, there's 2 more movies. So how?
Well, the fact is that evil never dies, but evil presumably dies every fucking movie. Yeah.
Listen, I'm going to finish this movie off for us right now. As they're fighting out of the basement, Michael grabs Karen's leg, and they're yelling for Allison to get out of there. Allison grabs a knife and stabs him. They kick him into what turns out to be a trap basement, not to be confused with a trap basement where you would go buy your drugs, but
not to be confused with trap basement, the sex maneuver.
Look it up on Urban Dictionary. They end up. So Laurie always had this place rigged to blow in the craziest way. So first she hits a button that like these claws come and like close the basement like a prison.
Spikes, like a grate,
like spikes, like a grate.
It's so cool. They look like teeth from hell or something. Yeah, it's so
which
cool.
blew my fucking mind. I stood up from where I was sitting to be like, what the? And then they're just looking at each other, and then
this is the thing that me and Danny were constantly yelling at about this whole thing together, back and forth. Was like, Danny was like, why'd they make the door so shitty to the thing? I'm like, I think that the door is probably better. And Danny's like, what do you mean? Like the door is bad? Like he's gonna just rip it off. I'm like, he will rip it off, but there's probably like contingencies in place. Yeah. And Danny's like, I don't know. And then I'm like, you underestimate the power of crazy. This woman is crazy.
I thought the failure was gonna be, they kept showing like that basement, like the kitchen island opening and closing. I thought that was going to fail halfway, and that was going to be something, but it wasn't. And then it literally ends up being like the perfect plan, and the thing closes. And I was like, well, what could possibly happen out of this? And the movie just kind of ends. She hits the button for the gas to come in, and the thing ignites. And I was like, oh, just the basement is going to ignite, because they're clearly not going to burn the whole house. Nope, the whole fucking house starts to burn, and it burns to the ground. I know now that's why in the later movies his face is all fucked up. So spoilers for 2 movies that exist already. But anyway, they get in the car and they leave. And this is a unique horror situation where there's the villain.
He puts the mask up his butt to stop it from burning.
The villain reaching up and having one final stand was when he grabs Karen's leg. And there's 7 minutes after that where it's them systematically destroying this thing. And
but also like good on the movie for not having him come back out of the house. Because like they could have done that, because they always do that shit. And I find it tedious and annoying when the guy keeps coming back over and over again. It's good in some things, but this is one where it's like, no, he's trapped in there. He shouldn't just like come out of the dirt or something, you know? Like,
I agree. Ray's line of "you shit into my sink, I murder you and your whole family" kind of feels like a foreshadowing to this.
I'm
not to take away what you're.
I'm looking forward to the next movie to see, like, are they going to explain how he got out of this flaming basement, or is it just going to be like,
they do? It's much like Halloween 2. The next movie takes place like right away, where it's like the beginning of the next movie is the end of this movie. I don't know if you guys, like our Grimoire intro that we always have, where it's him standing like. With the
I've been
axe.
wondering. Yeah,
that's the beginning of the next movie, which is the end of this movie.
but this is also like, is the flame room in Halloween at the end of 2? The flames go crazy and take him out.
Well, yeah, the hospital gets blown up. And
okay, so that's
incinerator
2.
room.
But this felt like reminiscent of that. So
Yeah, true.
it's the same ending as Halloween 2 both times, kind of, I guess.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
I think this is a clear homage to the end of Halloween 2. I think that this movie is playing on all of it, right? Like, and this does feel like it's also kind of mashing the end of Halloween 2 into this. And they definitely didn't know they were going to get a sequel to it, but they got one. So they're like, well, let's fucking go. Let's go, brother. Let's make another one. And they did. And they made a third one after that. And like the second one I think the second one kind of blows. I remember it not being great, but I do think I like the third one. But I would have to rewatch it.
Let's talk about that second one in October. I want to ask you guys first, was there anything that I should have noticed about the very ending of this movie? Because it's literally just them driving away, but it does pan down to like their hands, and I was worried that I missed something.
I didn't have any notes.
Well, they're all holding hands, which is important. Did you notice that?
Yeah.
I think that's all you need to notice, is that it's meant to be the three
family. Yeah, 3 generations.
Of them they're connected
as a family. Yeah.
Also, their hands are covered in blood, and I think one of them's holding a knife still. Is that
I
wrong?
think one of them is holding a knife. That's why I was curious about if there was anything that could be gleaned from this. But that's the end of Halloween 2018. Do you guys want to go into our home alone of it all, our final thoughts and our ratings?
Yeah.
I guess so.
If you had to pick one,
what do you think the Home
when
Alone of it
is
all?
the Home Alone of it all?
Can someone please tell me when the Home Alone of
I
it
really
all
gotta
happens?
know.
When is the Home Alone of
What
it all?
is the Home Alone of it all? Now that's the Home Alone of it all.
Oh no! No! 3D! 3D!
So this is the segment of the show where we talk about the Home Alone of it all. The Home Alone of it all is, of course, the idea that in every single Home Alone movie, the child who is a extreme maniac, not unlike Michael Myers, sets up a fun house of horrors for his
enemies, his adversaries.
Yeah. And we've posited that every movie sort of has that sort of segment of the movie you're there to go see. When you went to see Home Alone in theaters, you were just waiting for him to set up the House of Horrors. In addition to that, Craig, you've been here before, so I said that weird. I would explain it better for other guests. But in addition to that, please give us your final thoughts and your rating. Craig, since I already addressed you, please go first. Thank you.
Final thoughts. So as I mentioned up top, I saw this movie years ago and I didn't hate it, but I was just nonplussed by it. I was like, okay, whatever, another reboot. But yeah, this time, fucking awesome. I love discussing it with you guys. I learned more about it than I had noticed, and I just I missed that note. But I fucking loved it. Obviously, the Home Alone of it all is when the end of the movie turns out to be exactly like Home Alone. Like I don't really have anything else to add to the Home Alone of it all, but like literally she set up this trap to kill her intruders, just like Kevin McAllister did. It's it's like an adult Home Alone kind of last scene.
Imagine in Home Alone, Kevin McAllister kept flashing back to when he set up all the traps. He's like, remember when I did that? He's eating ice cream, like ding 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 ding, with the spider on his shoulder. Like, ding, ding.
I once had an idea to write a Home Alone sequel, like starring Macaulay Culkin, like but current age, like as an adult, and he's just been traumatized by this, and like he's still killing people. Like so now it's a slasher film, but like painted like a family comedy.
Or it's like he's rich now because he's in like a big mansion and he has like actual security systems, and because of his time on Home Alone, he got really
basically turns into H.H. Holmes.
Is
what this movie would be. But I digress. My final rating of this movie would be 5 out of 5 kills, just like the first Halloween movie.
Wow, that's a lot of kills.
It's a fucking good movie. I'm giving it the highest rating.
Steven.
I like this movie too. It's a movie that makes me think a lot about the first 2 Halloween movies the entire time that I'm watching it, while also making me kind of like sprinkle through the other ones like I'm walking through like a dewy, wet grass filled field on my tippy toes, being like, ooh, remember Halloween 4 and 3 and like all these other ones? Like I'm getting there, and then I land on these like hot slabs of stone that are this movie, and it's good. Like nothing really about this movie is bad, and I kind of feel terribly for myself in 2018 for watching this and being like, whatever, and not kind of appreciating it for what it is, because you don't get movies like this really that often, and we're now in a mode where like every single horror slasher movie has to have some sort of like extremely high concept to make you wonder what's going on, and you can't just watch it for what it is while also recognizing that it's impressive, because like this movie is impressive in a lot of ways. We talked about the lighting and a lot of the cinematography, but the music and everything, the vibe of this movie is it is the same as the original Halloween. I don't think that I've seen a movie that is a remake while also being like a sequel, while also being a sequel at the same time, that it is more impressive. Especially when it comes to horror. I mean, like
Evil Dead tried it, but it did not surpass the original by any
It didn't surpass it, but I think it did a good job. And like we can talk about that if we ever talk about it, but like it's if anything, this is a little bit better than that, if like on the same sort of playing field, the same discussion at least. I like this movie, and there's not a lot that I can point out to be like, this is why I like it. But I mean, there's enough of it that I can be like, I do like it enough that I recommend it to people. If you like Halloween, then you'll like this. And especially if you dislike the Rob Zombie movies, you'll probably like this a lot if you like the originals. And that's not to say that those Rob Zombie movies are horrid, and if you like those movies, that's totally fine. I just think they missed the entire playing field. Like they took the idea and made it something completely different, which is, cool. If I had to pick a Home Alone of it all, it's not going to be the Home Alone moment, which is weird, right? When you're like looking at a movie that has a Home Alone, and you're like, wait, this is not the Home Alone. For me, the Home Alone moment is when she looks out the window and sees Laurie Strode standing there like Michael Myers, and I'm like, oh my God, is Laurie Strode going to be Michael Myers throughout this movie? And she multiple times does it over and over again. She is Michael Myers. She's become the thing that she fears. And there was a part of me when I watched this the first time, and I'm like, oh, interesting, they're making her into this. And then watching it again, I'm like, I can't really remember these next 2 movies, but I really hope that they lean more into that, like making her become more like Michael Myers throughout it.
She goes further and further each.
She starts wearing a mask for some reason, like a crazy. She wears like a Mr. Spock mask.
Yeah, exactly. Another Star Trek mask. She's like Uhura.
Yeah, or she's got like a Sulu mask on, and she's like, yeah.
Or maybe she goes Next Generation because she's the next generation. So she goes
Riker.
like Worf.
She's got a Riker mask on.
Resurrected.
I think it's great. I think that I think that it. I mean, I already went through this. If you like Halloween, you'll like this. If you don't like the Rob Zombie Halloweens, you'll like this. If you do like the Rob Zombie Halloweens, you're going to be missing stuff that you're craving, but like you still might like it. I think it's good. It's a well-made Halloween movie. It hits all the notes that you want, and it doesn't leave you craving anything, but it also throws a bunch of crazy shit at you at the end that you're like, this is awesome. Like, this is amazing. It literally turns into a Home Alone movie at the end. If I had to give it a rating, I would give it a a childhood full of trauma raised to realize that that trauma, while it still matters, is something that you can trap in a basement. You can trap it down there.
That's really good.
And burn it alive.
It's interesting. I do not like the first Halloween that much, but Halloween 2 is one of my favorite horror movies, right? So this one actually kind of equals that. And the irony is that this movie is basically Halloween 1 retold. I really like what they did with showing everything you wanted to see in the first movie, but like updated in a modern sense. And I think that overall it really accomplishes what it needs to accomplish. I think that Danny McBride writing this is one of the best facts I've learned in weeks or months or years. I think that he did a really good job encompassing what the shape needs to do to be the slasher that he is. And I think that there's no wasted motion in this whole movie. I was blown away by the fact that I was able to sit here and see Michael Myers do it for like the second time or the first time again, and it basically be that the conceit of that first movie, but not have that like lingering pain of watching an old 70s movie, which is a lot of the problem I have with the original. I think if they shot for shot remade the original Halloween, which they kind of did here in a couple of ways, I wouldn't dislike it so much. And it's not like I hate it. It's boring because 70s movies, filmmaking
hold your tongue.
The filmmaking was a lot slower and plotting and deliberate.
I think the term you're looking for is well paced.
Yeah,
they were more well
there. But
I think the term you're looking for is good.
I don't need the page gallery for this. This is my own, like my synapses are fucking fried, and not just from social media, but also just from living in the world that I live in for so long. I have a vast collection of reviews at this point. I've gone through a lot of old movies, and there are old movies that I enjoy. Like I get it. Just the first Halloween did not grip me the way that this movie gripped me. I was in it from the beginning and all the way to the end, and I loved every element of it.
This is evidence that somebody who hated the first Halloween movie can still like the
once again did not hate the first Halloween movie.
I'm trying to emphasize what you're saying, which is you did not care for the first Halloween movie, but you like this movie, which is basically the first Halloween movie. So you do like the first Halloween movie. You just needed a little bit of little gloss on it.
No, and that's not a gotcha moment. That you're absolutely right. And I think that if I went back and watched the first Halloween again, I would get something new out of it 5 years later.
I think you'd appreciate Donald Pleasance being around. You'd be like, man,
I love Donald Pleasance. I love Donald Pleasance in all of his iterations throughout the next movies. But here's what I'll say too. I don't like that this erases all of the lineage, but I am appreciative that the way that it erases it sort of allows me to disconnect from the stupid shit from the Halloween franchise. The same way that when I watched Friday the 13th, 2009, I was able to leave all that behind for a second, and the Michael Bay as the producer and the director of that movie, they really
weird that you brought up Michael Bay out of everyone.
Well, I bring that up because he also produced Ninja Turtles, and I was gonna have this slant on my review for Friday the 13th, but I recognize that producing is not the same as directing. But there was a time when Michael,
Jason, technically you're a producer on like all those things that I like edit for the beginning of episodes. That doesn't mean you did anything. You just said good job.
But I produced all this. this whole show I produce. I'm producing right now. But what I'm saying, my point is that I like the fact that there are some people that can resurrect old IPs and make them interesting again. And
it's not Michael
Friday
Bay.
the 13th, 2009 does a very similar thing to this particular film where they bring it back up and elevate it instead of just like hammering in on like the dumb shit. And I feel like when I go back and watch the Rob Zombie version of this, I'm gonna be like, oh, I fully agree with this.
What's gonna happen is you're gonna be transported back to the year 2010 or 9 or whenever it was made. You're gonna be like, oh god, is this how we thought about how horror should be? Just everyone clubbing each other with gore brains everywhere. Oh god.
Anyway, my Home Alone of it all for this movie. Halloween, Exorcist, and Alien are all originals. I don't like, but okay, dude.
What? You don't like the? Okay, hold on.
Aliens is amazing.
Well, he's talking about Alien, the first one.
Yeah, I'm saying he doesn't like Alien.
But you said Aliens is amazing.
Aliens is amazing.
Aliens is amazing, but so is Alien, which we talked about last week.
I am agreeing with Travis. Sorry. The biggest problem with 78 for me is aside from Loomis and Laurie, the characters are it's a boring.
That's the thing, though. That's
anyway.
the rule. Hold on. I want to address Travis's note there. That is the whole point of most slasher movies, is that the victims always have some sin. They're either premarital sex or smoking drugs, or they're awful people. So like the point that you've pointed out that Loomis and Laurie aren't awful people, yet they're the ones that survive. That's kind of the whole fucking point.
Okay.
And the people who died were punished for being shitty
people. But isn't it great in this movie that the people that you feel like should be the most punishable and could die easily on screen are left to the wind? We don't care about them, like the boyfriend who is a cheating asshole. Yeah, they just got rid of it.
Like Greer, what's the dad's name? The Wiz, Toby Huss.
The Wiz. Right. I'm the Wiz. Yeah,
I'm the Wiz. I can't be beat. I'm the Wiz.
He gets stuffed in a closet.
Right.
Yeah, he was just a cool dad who paid more attention to his mother-in-law. But
my Home Alone of it all is literally the scene where you see Michael Myers in the background in the white, and then from then on, the movie kicks up a gear. To rate this movie, solid, the most solid 4 out of 5 you've ever seen. And I also give this movie, like, sometimes your eyes are so black that they're evil.
Well, sometimes when your eyes are so
these are
black,
the evilest, blackest eyes.
Okie dokie. Well,
plug me, daddy.
Plug me, daddy. Dun, 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 dun.
If that's to me, or is there a sting?
No, my thing is frozen. Jason, you're gonna have to do the plug.
I gotta do the thing.
Yeah.
Can't scroll.
I can't scroll for some reason.
Got you.
All right, let me just plug this in right here and.
You fucking died. Craig, what do you got to plug this week, brother?
I have nothing to plug. Oh, you know what? Next month, I'm going to be on a podcast discussing the movie Aqua Teen Hunger Force with my buddies Jason and Steven. Tune in right here, same bat time, same bat channel, exactly 4 weeks from now.
Thank you. Thank you for coming on for that. It's going to be... I
can't wait to do a movie that's not a horror. I mean, I love horrors, but like I'm thrilled to like do a straight up comedy.
It might be Steven's living nightmare, or we might get something out of that. I'll tell you, we were gonna do Baby's Kids with my buddy Graham, and I watched that movie, and the movie is 67 minutes long, and also like they animated over a stand-up comedy act. It's not really something that even for this show, I kind of put the kibosh. So we're going to do Wrath of Khan instead. So sorry you can't be on that, because now I know you're going, oh man, I want to do Wrath of Khan. That said, we already have 2 guests. You're cut off.
That's fine.
I mean, and also I have a guest that is tentative that we might have to cut off all guests. So it might be everybody that gets cut off.
The Rock? You got Dwayne Johnson?
Dwayne The Rock Johnson has finally responded to my
I
emails.
thought I smelled what
Finally.
someone was cooking.
Finally,
And he said to me, he said, you know, I love Aqua Teen Hunger Force, my favorite movie ever made.
All right, Steven, what do you got going on the back burner, brother?
I mean, it's more like the main burner at this point, but I am the voice of Darth Theorist and the Three-Eyed Theorist and the Half-Blood Theorist, but I do all the narration, all the voices, and all sorts of other stuff for those channels. You guys should go check them out. On top of that, I'm doing a bunch of other things that I shouldn't speak of. Except for Randy. Randy is a thing that's coming out very soon. I think we're going to be releasing it in mid-April, which is a goofy show that was recorded 10 years ago and is starring the man who does the voice of Meatwad from Aqua Teen Hunger Force.
Nice.
Yeah, it's pretty good. And you should keep your eyes peeled for that. It's a 5-part, no, it's an 11-part miniseries, with a lot of good, great jokes that have been dusted up by your old pal Steve. What else do I have going on? That's it for now. I'll tell you guys more later.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Jason, what do you got to plug?
Let's tell you all about it. This show, Hey Did You See This One, can be found on all social media, pretty much. Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch each and every week at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's a great show. Please follow us wherever you get your live podcasts. This show also goes up on demand after the fact, the next day. Actually not the next day, the weekend after. You can find it on Spotify. You can find it on anywhere you get your audio podcast. You can also find it on YouTube in video on demand. Also, I'm the announcer here in Toronto for Super Kicked Wrestling. We have a show coming up on April 24th, which is a couple days before my birthday, which is going to be a really good show because I'm going to come out to some wacky theme when I enter the ring. That's right. I always come out to a wacky theme. I'd also like to let everybody know that it's been a really great month. We are now monetized on YouTube, which is huge. Thank you. We also crossed, let's check the official count. My wife makes fun of me for constantly checking. Thank you. 2,300 fucking subs on YouTube. That's nothing to sneeze at, I suppose. Oh, look who it is. It's Michael Monjo, and he loves Craig.
I love you, Michael.
Craig boy. Craig boy.
It's really, I wanted to mention this month, speaking, I mean, kudos on being monetized and your subscribers, but this month is also like Michael's bachelor party month. Other than the first episode, every guest this month went to Mike's bachelor party.
It's true. That was a little hidden figure, if you will.
Yeah, it was fun. It was fun, right, guys? Well,
I'm just kidding. I have friends outside of this podcast.
Don't question it. Don't question it.
Okay.
I call them the X-Men.
Call them the sex men.
Yeah.
But this has been another intriguing episode of Hey Did You See This One? There's just one last thing that has to be done on each and every episode. And Craig, could you ask the question that needs to be asked each and every week right now, please?
Hey, did you see this one?
Y'all got any jokes, like a knock knock or a whodunit?
I've made both of my children laugh at this old chestnut that you may have heard before. Why was 6 afraid of 7?
Why?
Because 7, 8, 9. Man, Ash, my
9.
3-year-old cracked up. He laughed so hard. It's like the first real joke he ever got. So I'm pretty proud of being able to tell him a joke and have him laugh at it.
What were you gonna say?
9/11.
Beam up some Star Trek content with Live Long and Podcast. A roundtable movie discussion with Hey, did you see this one? And take a peek into the darkness with Heard Noise, Must Investigate with Michael Chan. Watch us duke it out on trivial debates. And let's chat about TV with the Super Mater Brothers. It's all here on the United Federation of Podcasts.
Oh, hey, bro, you grab me a napkin? What? Will you grab me a napkin?
Yeah, sure, dude.
Here you go, dude. Thanks, man.